One formidable family commands a staggering 35% of Hong Kong's electricity supply, holds sway over the city's most iconic hotels, and presides over a vast business empire valued at well over $12 billion. Their saga is one of extraordinary resilience, having navigated the tumultuous collapse of the Ottoman Empire, the brutal Japanese occupation, the intricate web of British colonial rule, and the eventual return to Chinese sovereignty. Across 140 years of profound global upheaval, they haven't merely survived, they have unequivocally dominated. Yet, the Kadoorie family's journey began not with inherited wealth, but as Jewish refugees fleeing relentless religious persecution in Baghdad. They arrived with nothing but an unyielding determination and an unparalleled genius for discerning opportunities invisible to others. Today, they stand as one of Asia's most powerful business dynasties, their influence extending like strategic tendrils into virtually every sector of Hong Kong's economy. But what truly renders their story incredible is this: they meticulously constructed their empire by placing an audacious bet on Hong Kong when the prevailing wisdom deemed it utterly worthless. In 1880, Hong Kong was widely disparaged as a malaria-ridden rock, home to a mere 160,000 souls. Most investors dismissed it as an insignificant colonial backwater, devoid of any real economic promise. The Kadoories, however, perceived something profoundly different. They shrewdly recognized that this modest island was destined to become the indispensable gateway connecting the burgeoning markets of China with the wider world. Their foresight proved prophetic. Today, Hong Kong boasts a $365 billion economy, solidified as one of the planet's most vital financial centers, and the Kadoories strategically control fundamental pieces of the infrastructure that underpin its entire operation. China Light and Power, their venerable flagship company, has consistently illuminated Hong Kong for over a century, a testament to their foundational role. The Peninsula Hotels Group, another jewel in their crown, is globally recognized as setting the ultimate standard for luxury hospitality, synonymous with unparalleled service and elegance. Their sprawling property portfolio encompasses some of the most valuable real estate assets on Earth. The sheer scale of their impact is breathtaking in every aspect. Specifically, the Kadoorie family's China Light and Power delivers electricity to an impressive 80% of Hong Kong's population, serving 2.5 million customers who rely on their vital infrastructure daily. Their iconic flagship hotel, the Peninsula Hong Kong, has graciously hosted an unparalleled roster of world leaders, cinematic legends, and business titans who have journeyed to Asia over the past 95 years. However, the true brilliance of their operation transcends the mere magnitude of their wealth. It lies in their uncanny ability to sustain and even augment their power through monumental political transitions that utterly dismantled most other established business dynasties. They not only endured the collapse of Imperial China, the Japanese invasion, the British decolonization, and Chinese reunification, but remarkably, they managed to increase their influence during each seismic shift. While countless wealthy families across Asia witnessed their empires crumble with changing political systems, the Kadoories flourished precisely because they mastered the delicate art of political adaptation without ever compromising their core business principles. They skillfully maintained a non-political stance, cultivating robust relationships with every single government entity that has governed Hong Kong. This, then, is the compelling narrative of how Jewish refugees from Baghdad ascended to become Hong Kong's unofficial royal family, how they meticulously forged business empires that indelibly shaped one of the world's most critical cities, and how they have steadfastly maintained extraordinary influence across 140 years of relentless political and economic transformation. What they achieved was far more than conventional business success. It was the ingenious creation of institutional power designed to transcend individual political systems, thereby establishing a groundbreaking template for how business dynasties can preserve influence across civilizational changes. To truly grasp how the Kadoories built their enduring Hong Kong empire, one must first understand the perilous circumstances they escaped and the nascent opportunities they discovered upon arriving in Asia. Their story commences not in the bustling metropolis of Hong Kong, but in the ancient city of Baghdad, where vibrant Jewish communities had thrived under Ottoman rule for centuries before confronting a relentless and systematic persecution that would ultimately compel them to traverse continents in search of a future. The Kadoorie family's deep roots trace back to Kadoorie, Born in Baghdad in 1865 into a venerable Sephardic Jewish community that had meticulously preserved its distinctive commercial and religious traditions since antiquity. During this era, Baghdad's Jewish population held significant sway over regional trade, particularly in lucrative commodities such as textiles, spices, and precious metals. They masterfully cultivated complex and extensive networks that seamlessly connected Ottoman territories with the distant markets of Persia, India, and Europe. However, the late Ottoman Empire was progressively adopting an increasingly hostile posture towards its minority communities. A debilitating combination of economic deterioration, pervasive political instability, and a surge in aggressive nationalism created perilous conditions for Jewish merchants, who had historically functioned as crucial intermediaries between diverse ethnic and religious groups. Young Jewish men, in particular, faced mandatory military conscription, burdensome punitive taxation, and systematic exclusion from desirable governmental positions. Kadoorie, with remarkable foresight, recognized that his family's long-term future lay unequivocally beyond the confines of the Ottoman Empire. His choice of destination, however, was critically important. While many other Jewish refugees were opting to immigrate to Europe or America, seeking the comfort and safety of established Jewish communities that could offer cultural familiarity and religious solace, chose a radically different path. He set his sights on Asia, a continent where the opportunities were unprecedented, but the inherent risks were equally immense. The Asia that Kadoorie entered in the 1,880 seconds was undergoing a truly revolutionary transformation. European colonial powers were aggressively establishing expansive trade networks, constructing critical infrastructure, and thereby creating commercial opportunities that had remained dormant for centuries. Shanghai was rapidly emerging as China's primary international gateway. Hong Kong was strategically developing into Britain's Central Asian headquarters. Singapore was fast becoming the undisputed hub for burgeoning Southeast Asian trade. Yet, these burgeoning opportunities were inextricably linked with extraordinary challenges. Disease rates were catastrophic. Malaria, cholera, and typhoid claimed countless lives among European settlers and Asian residents alike. Political instability remained a constant, as colonial authorities grappled with the immense task of maintaining order while Chinese, Japanese, and various Southeast Asian societies struggled to adapt to the pervasive foreign domination. Commercial regulations were minimal, meaning genuine success demanded adept navigation through intricate networks of colonial officials, powerful Chinese merchants, and influential local power brokers. Most significantly for our narrative, the dynamic Asian colonial environment precisely rewarded the specialized skills that Middle Eastern Jewish merchants had painstakingly cultivated over centuries. Exceptional linguistic ability, sophisticated cross-cultural navigation, groundbreaking financial innovation, and the crucial art of long-term relationship building with profoundly diverse communities, Kadoorie possessed distinct advantages that most other immigrants lacked. His foundational education in Arabic, Hebrew, and Persian facilitated the rapid acquisition of additional languages essential for successful Asian commerce. His family's extensive commercial background provided him with an innate understanding of complex trading relationships, intricate credit systems, and sophisticated international finance. Furthermore, his Jewish identity, while occasionally presenting certain social challenges, simultaneously connected him to a vast web of Sephardic networks that stretched from London all the way to Bombay. Yet, despite these communal advantages, Ellie's true ascent began not with a promotion, but with a moment of professional rupture. His path to independence was forged by a harsh dismissal that would fuel his lifelong ambition. Originally employed as a clerk for the powerful Sassoon family known as the Rothschilds of the East, Ellie was reportedly fired because his aspirations were deemed too ambitious for a subordinate, a rejection that compelled him to bet on himself rather than remain a servant to established powers. When Kadoorie arrived in Shanghai in 1880, the city was experiencing a period of unparalleled growth. As China's ancient economy began its integration with global markets for the first time in centuries, European and American merchants were aggressively establishing formidable trading houses. Simultaneously, Chinese entrepreneurs were ingeniously adapting traditional business methods to seize these burgeoning international opportunities, and immense quantities of capital flowed into the city as China's agricultural and manufacturing output commenced reaching international markets. Shanghai's unique international settlement offered precisely the kind of regulatory environment that allowed ambitious immigrant entrepreneurs to succeed rapidly, provided they possessed the right blend of skills, capital, and connections. The settlement operated under established European commercial law while adeptly preserving Chinese cultural practices, thereby forging fertile ground for intermediaries capable of effectively navigating both intricate systems. However, Shanghai was also an extraordinarily competitive arena. Established British trading houses, such as the formidable Jardine Matheson, controlled major sectors of international trade. Wealthy Chinese merchant families possessed invaluable detailed local knowledge and well-entrenched supply chains. Moreover, American and German competitors were arriving with substantial capital reserves and advanced technological advantages. Kadourie's pivotal breakthrough stemmed from his remarkable ability to recognize and then relentlessly pursue opportunities that established players either couldn't or wouldn't engage with. While the dominant trading houses remained fixated on traditional commodities like tea, silk, and opium, astutely identified emerging markets in manufactured goods, industrial materials, and consumer products items that clearly signaled China's evolving economy. His very first major success involved the importation of kerosene and the systematic establishment of sophisticated distribution networks for Standard Oil products across the vast expanse of southern China. This particular business venture required minimal initial capital, yet it demanded extensive travel, painstaking relationship building with countless Chinese retailers, and the complex navigation of varied regulatory requirements across different Chinese regions. Crucially, the kerosene business furnished invaluable insights into Chinese consumer behavior, the intricacies of distribution logistics, and the nuances of government relations, all of which would profoundly influence Kadoorie family strategy for generations to come. Ely learned that sustained success in the fragmented Chinese markets necessitated patient relationship building, a keen adaptability to local preferences, and a strategic willingness to operate through Chinese partners rather than attempting to impose rigid foreign business practices. More importantly, the robust kerosene distribution network generated sufficient capital and forged essential commercial relationships, enabling subsequent expansion into more sophisticated business opportunities. By 1890, Kadoorie was actively involved in significant real estate development, burgeoning financial services, and various manufacturing operations, solidifying his reputation as one of Shanghai's most successful immigrant entrepreneurs. However, Kadoorie was already looking beyond Shanghai, anticipating opportunities that other merchants had yet to perceive. Hong Kong, still largely viewed by most investors as a mere colonial outpost with severely limited economic potential, perfectly represented the kind of undervalued opportunity that the Kadoorie family specialized in identifying long before the broader markets recognized their intrinsic value. Hong Kong in 1890 possessed several characteristics that resonated deeply with Kadourie's strategic thinking. As a British colony, it offered a level of legal and regulatory stability that was simply unavailable elsewhere in a volatile Asia. Its strategic geographic position provided unparalleled access to both the vast Chinese markets and crucial international shipping routes. Most importantly, its compact size and concentrated population created unique opportunities for large-scale infrastructure development that could, in turn, generate powerful, long-term, monopolistic advantages. The deliberate decision to pivot and focus significant attention on Hong Kong, rather than simply continuing unchecked expansion in Shanghai, would ultimately prove to be one of the most consequential strategic choices in the annals of Asian business history. While Shanghai was destined to endure decades of severe political upheaval, devastating foreign invasions, and profound economic disruption, Hong Kong would steadily emerge as Asia's most stable and prosperous commercial center. Kadoorie was ingeniously positioning his family to reap immense benefits from Hong Kong's inevitable development long before most other investors even recognized the nascent opportunity. His sons would inherit not only immense wealth but also invaluable strategic insights concerning long-term infrastructure investment, sophisticated cross-cultural business development, and the critical art of political adaptation, all of which would empower the Kadoorie family to construct one of Asia's most enduring and influential business empires. Kadourie's departure from Baghdad in 1880 was far more than a personal decision. It was a calculated, strategic escape from a rapidly collapsing economic system that had sustained thriving Middle Eastern Jewish communities for over a millennium. The relentless decline of the Ottoman Empire was systematically creating impossible conditions for minority merchants, who had traditionally served as vital intermediaries connecting Islamic societies with expanding international markets. Baghdad's Jewish community in the 1,860 seconds represented one of the Middle East's most sophisticated and dynamic commercial networks. Approximately 80,000 Jews resided in the city, constituting nearly 40% of its total population and exercising substantial control over significant portions of regional trade. Jewish merchants ingeniously operated the intricate financial systems that facilitated complex commerce between the diverse Ottoman territories, Persia, India, and the distant markets of Europe. The community's distinct commercial advantages originated from profound religious and cultural practices that consistently emphasized education, literacy, and far-reaching international connections. Jewish families made substantial investments in language acquisition. Indeed, most successful merchants were fluent in Arabic, Hebrew, Persian, Turkish, and frequently English or French. They meticulously maintained commercial relationships spanning vast distances through tightly knit family networks and robust religious connections, which together provided crucial trust and effective enforcement mechanisms often unavailable to other trading communities. Kadourie's own family perfectly exemplified this rich tradition. His father successfully ran a thriving textile business, importing exquisite fabrics from Europe and India while expertly exporting local products to markets across the extensive Ottoman Empire. The family diligently maintained correspondence with their network of Jewish merchants in London, Bombay, Cairo, and other pivotal commercial centers, thereby gaining privileged access to vital market information and essential financial services, a distinct competitive advantage over local rivals. However, the economic bedrock supporting these advantages was rapidly eroding. The Ottoman Empire was steadily losing territory, burdened by massive debt obligations to European creditors, and plagued by internal rebellions that severely disrupted traditional trade routes. The monumental opening of the Suez Canal in 1869 had critically rerouted much of the Middle Eastern trade through new channels, bypassing traditional Ottoman commercial centers entirely. More ominously for Jewish merchants, the empire was implementing increasingly discriminatory policies against religious minorities, explicitly favoring Muslim business interests. New taxation systems were specifically designed to impose heavier, often punitive, burdens on Jewish businesses. Military conscription laws compelled young Jewish men to serve in Ottoman armies that were engaged in increasingly futile wars against powerful European forces. Furthermore, educational restrictions severely limited Jewish access to coveted government positions and promising professional opportunities. This perilous combination of profound economic decline and intensifying religious persecution created truly untenable conditions for ambitious Jewish families, who sagely recognized that their future prosperity necessitated immigration to regions where commercial opportunities were actively expanding rather than contracting. Kadourie's audacious decision to immigrate to Asia, rather than to the more conventional destinations of Europe or America, reflected a careful and discerning analysis of global commercial trends that most of his contemporaries simply missed. Europe, at the time, was becoming increasingly industrialized and intensely competitive, with deeply entrenched commercial networks that were exceedingly difficult for immigrant entrepreneurs to penetrate. America, while offering undeniable opportunities, typically required substantial initial capital and involved fierce competition from immigrant communities that already possessed better established support networks. Asia, by contrast, presented an entirely different panorama. It offered vast, largely untapped markets that were being integrated into global commerce for the very first time in centuries, alongside minimal competition from established European or American trading houses. Crucially, its regulatory environments were more inclined to reward commercial innovation and entrepreneurial acumen rather than relying solely on social connections or inherited advantages. The magnitude of this decision demanded extraordinary courage, for it meant abandoning familiar cultural and religious communities for distant regions where Jewish populations were minimal and established support systems were virtually non-existent. Kadoorie would be operating without the immediate benefit of the family networks, religious institutions, and commercial relationships that had traditionally sustained Middle Eastern Jewish merchants for generations. Yet, this choice also profoundly reflected a sophisticated understanding of how commercial opportunities precisely unfold during periods of intense imperial expansion and dramatic economic transformation. The British Empire, then, at its zenith, was systematically establishing critical infrastructure, robust legal systems, and extensive trade networks across Asia, thereby creating unprecedented possibilities for agile entrepreneurs who could deftly navigate complex colonial relationships while simultaneously building commercial operations that served both European and Asian interests. Kadourie's meticulous preparation for his Asian immigration underscored the systematic approach that would characterize Kadoorie family business strategy for generations. He dedicated 2 years to learning English, rigorously studying Asian geography and commercial conditions, and establishing crucial preliminary contacts with European trading houses already operating in Asian markets. He also systematically liquidated family assets in Baghdad, astutely converting real estate, various business interests, and personal property into highly portable financial instruments that could be seamlessly transferred to Asian destinations without significant loss of value. This intricate process demanded incredibly careful timing to avoid attracting undue attention from Ottoman authorities, who might have imposed restrictions on capital transfers by immigrating Jews. Kadourie's departure from Baghdad in 1880 marked the definitive end of the Kadoorie family's participation in Middle Eastern commerce and heralded the beginning of their remarkable emergence as one of Asia's most successful and enduring business dynasties. However, this transition was far from immediate. Kadoorie would spend several years painstakingly establishing his initial commercial operations while ingeniously adapting time-honored Middle Eastern business practices to the unique and challenging Asian conditions. His initial destination was Bombay, where a substantial Sephardic Jewish community offered a comforting degree of cultural familiarity and valuable commercial connections, serving as a strategic base for exploring opportunities throughout British Asia. Bombay's vibrant Jewish community included many successful merchants who had immigrated from other Middle Eastern cities under similar circumstances, providing invaluable models for successful adaptation to the dynamic Asian commercial environments. Kadoorie spent 6 critical months in Bombay, diligently studying local commercial practices, thoroughly learning about the intricate Asian trade networks, and actively developing relationships with established Jewish merchants who could provide essential introductions to European trading houses and influential Asian business partners. This foundational period provided crucial insights into how Middle Eastern commercial skills could be effectively adapted to Asian conditions, while also identifying specific, underserved opportunities that were not being pursued by established competitors. The subsequent move to Shanghai in late 1880 represented the true commencement of active commercial operations under conditions that were simultaneously immensely promising and inherently dangerous. Shanghai's international settlement offered unparalleled regulatory stability and commercial opportunities that were, at the time, unprecedented in Asian commerce. However, sustained success demanded a masterful navigation of complex relationships between European colonial authorities, powerful Chinese merchants, and the formidable international trading houses that controlled access to the most profitable business sectors. Kadourie's initial Shanghai operations were deliberately modest and strategically focused on sectors where established competitors were not yet dominant. Rather than attempting to directly compete with major trading houses in traditional commodities, he shrewdly concentrated on emerging markets in manufactured goods and nascent consumer products, where success hinged more on cultural adaptability and keen market insight than on massive capital or political connections. His first truly significant success involved establishing robust distribution networks for imported household goods, particularly items like soap, matches, and basic textiles products that were becoming available to Chinese consumers for the very first time as international trade rapidly expanded. These particular products required minimal initial investment but demanded extensive travel, patient relationship building with Chinese retailers, and a flexible adaptation of marketing approaches to deeply ingrained local preferences. The consumer goods business provided several crucial advantages that would permanently shape Kadoorie family strategy. It generated immediate and reliable cash flow, which could then be reinvested to fund expansion into more capital-intensive sectors. It necessitated the meticulous development of intricate distribution networks and enduring customer relationships, which effectively created formidable barriers to competitive entry. Most importantly, it provided detailed, on-the-ground insights into Chinese consumer behavior and broader market dynamics, knowledge that would inform every subsequent investment decision. Kadourie's success in Shanghai unequivocally laid the foundation for every achievement the Kadoorie family would realize over the subsequent 140 years. His systematic approach to market analysis, his patient and persistent development of local relationships, and his unwavering focus on long-term infrastructure development rather than mere immediate profit maximization, collectively forged competitive advantages that enabled the family to construct enduring business empires across multiple generations. The remarkable transition from Baghdad refugee to Shanghai entrepreneur brilliantly demonstrated how Middle Eastern Jewish commercial traditions could be successfully adapted to Asian conditions, while simultaneously creating innovative business models that would profoundly influence regional economic development for generations. The Kadoorie family had, in essence, discovered the golden formula for sustained commercial success in Asia, identified genuinely undervalued opportunities before the wider markets recognized their potential, and then meticulously build the necessary infrastructure and cultivate the vital relationships that create permanent competitive advantages. By 1890, Kadoorie had undergone a profound transformation, evolving from a Baghdad refugee into one of Shanghai's most successful and influential international merchants. His breakthrough hinged on his acute recognition that China's vast economy was entering a phase of fundamental, revolutionary transformation, a shift that would unlock unprecedented opportunities for entrepreneurs capable of bridging the chasm between traditional Chinese commerce and the burgeoning global markets. The core insight was a deep understanding that China's forced integration into international trade networks, primarily through the Treaty of Nanking and subsequent agreements, was generating an insatiable demand for products, services, and infrastructure that simply did not exist within traditional Chinese commerce. European and American goods were becoming accessible to Chinese consumers for the very first time, yet established Western trading houses remained largely fixated on large-scale commodity exports, neglecting the immense potential of developing Chinese retail markets. Kadoorie precisely identified this critical gap and systematically constructed business operations designed to serve this emerging Chinese consumer demand, all while maintaining competitive cost structures that established Western companies simply couldn't match. His distinctive approach masterfully combined time-honored Middle Eastern trading traditions with practical Chinese commercial practices, creating unique advantages over both purely European and purely Chinese competitors. The kerosene business served as the perfect illustration of this astute strategy in action. Standard Oil was producing petroleum products in massive quantities for global markets, but its distribution within China was severely limited to major cities and industrial operations. Millions of Chinese consumers, who had traditionally relied on vegetable oils for lighting, stood to benefit enormously from cheaper, brighter kerosene. However, accessing these vast, untapped markets necessitated robust distribution networks that no existing company had yet developed. Kadoorie skillfully negotiated distribution rights for Standard Oil products across the sprawling landscape of southern China. He then systematically built intricate supply chains that effectively reached rural markets and smaller cities, areas completely ignored by established petroleum companies. The operation required purchasing products in Shanghai, transporting them via riverboat and overland routes to regional distribution centers, and then selling them through extensive networks of Chinese retailers who received essential credit, targeted training, and vital marketing support. The business model was brilliant in its elegant simplicity. Kadoorie earned profits at every stage of the distribution chain, all while providing invaluable services that mutually benefited every participant. Standard Oil gained access to millions of customers and vast markets they could not reach independently. Chinese retailers received profitable products and comprehensive business support. And critically, Chinese consumers gained access to superior lighting solutions at affordable prices. However, the true strategic value extended far beyond immediate profits. It lay in the invaluable commercial relationships and profound market intelligence that kerosene distribution meticulously generated. Kadoorie was systematically accumulating detailed knowledge of Chinese consumer preferences, purchasing patterns, and local economic conditions across vast territories, simultaneously forging unbreakable trust relationships with thousands of Chinese merchants who would become indispensable partners for future business ventures. The network effects were truly extraordinary. Chinese retailers who successfully sold kerosene rapidly became eager distributors for other imported products, including soap, matches, basic textiles, and various household goods. The robust transportation infrastructure initially developed for petroleum distribution proved versatile enough to handle diverse product categories. Furthermore, the credit and financing systems established for kerosene operations expanded to support broader Chinese commercial activities, creating a powerful economic ecosystem. By 1895, Kadoorie commanded distribution networks that reached markets encompassing over 10 million Chinese consumers. His operations generated impressive annual revenues exceeding 500,000 taels, an amount roughly equivalent to $15 million in today's currency. More importantly, the business provided sustainable competitive advantages through deep customer relationships and unparalleled market knowledge that would have taken competitors years to replicate. Success in consumer goods distribution served as a springboard, enabling expansion into more sophisticated business sectors that demanded substantial capital and nuanced government relationships. Real estate development represented the most promising new opportunity, as Shanghai's international settlement was experiencing unprecedented growth and skyrocketing demand. As international trade expanded and foreign investment surged, Kadoorie shrewdly began acquiring land in areas adjacent to the international settlement properties that were significantly undervalued because other investors failed to recognize their immense development potential. His meticulous analysis pinpointed properties that would inevitably benefit from future infrastructure expansion, explosive population growth, and commercial development, all of which were inherent, given Shanghai's undeniable role as China's primary international gateway. This real estate strategy epitomized the long-term thinking that would characterize Kadoorie family investments for generations. Rather than focusing on fleeting, immediate returns through speculative property flipping, Kadoorie systematically acquired land that would increase exponentially in value through fundamental economic development, while simultaneously generating consistent rental income through commercial and residential projects. His first major development project involved the construction of an ambitious mixed-use complex, featuring warehouses, modern office space, and residential apartments, meticulously designed to serve the burgeoning community of international merchants and Chinese entrepreneurs participating in Shanghai's expanding economy. The project required navigating complex and often contradictory regulations involving Chinese authorities, the International Settlement Administration, and various foreign consular oversight bodies. However, the true innovation lay in the sophisticated financing arrangements that allowed development without demanding massive initial capital investment. Kadoorie ingeniously structured partnerships with Chinese investors and European merchants, sharing costs and risks while retaining critical management control and ensuring long-term ownership advantages for himself. The development model proved extraordinarily successful. The complex generated rental income that surpassed investment costs within just 3 years, all while appreciating significantly in value as Shanghai's economy continued its meteoric expansion. More importantly, this project firmly established Kadoorie as a major player in Shanghai's dynamic development community, while showcasing capabilities that attracted additional, lucrative investment opportunities. Banking and financial services represented the natural, strategic progression from consumer goods and real estate, a move into operations that could powerfully leverage accumulated capital for maximum impact. Shanghai's financial sector was largely dominated by European banks, catering to international trade, and wealthy Chinese institutions handling traditional Chinese commercial finance. However, a significant and emerging middle market remained severely underserved by existing institutions. Kadoorie established financial services explicitly specializing in providing credit and banking services to Chinese small businesses, international traders, and property developers who often didn't qualify for traditional bank services but represented excellent credit risks for institutions that truly understood their specific business models and cash flow patterns. These financial operations were strategically structured to complement, rather than compete with, existing Kadoorie businesses. Real estate developers readily received necessary construction financing. Consumer goods distributors obtained crucial inventory credit. International traders accessed efficient foreign exchange services. These integrated financial services not only enhanced profitability but also deepened customer relationships across the entire business portfolio. However, the strategic value extended far beyond immediate profits to encompass invaluable intelligence gathering and relationship development assets that provided competitive advantages across all business sectors. Banking relationships generated detailed, real-time information about prevailing economic conditions, untapped commercial opportunities, and potential problems, enabling superior decision-making in all other investments. By 1900, Kadoorie commanded a diversified business empire that generated annual profits exceeding £200,000, roughly equivalent to an impressive $24 million today. This formidable empire encompassed distribution networks, reaching millions of Chinese consumers, extensive real estate holdings across Shanghai's most valuable districts, and sophisticated financial services that catered to hundreds of Chinese and international businesses. Yet, even amidst this triumph, Kadoorie was already discerning that Shanghai's political situation was becoming increasingly unstable. The confluence of surging Chinese nationalism, intensifying foreign imperial competition, and mounting internal political pressures created inherent risks that could potentially jeopardize business operations, regardless of their profitability or strategic value. The brutal Boxer Rebellion of 1900 starkly confirmed these escalating concerns, dramatically demonstrating that even the most successful adaptation to Chinese conditions could not fully insulate foreign businesses from political upheavals capable of entirely eliminating international commerce. In response, Kadoorie began meticulously developing contingency plans that would enable a rapid and seamless transfer of capital and operations to alternative locations should political conditions in Shanghai become untenable. Hong Kong emerged as the obvious and most compelling alternative destination. As a British colony, it offered a level of political stability that was simply unavailable elsewhere in Asia. Its strategic geographic location provided direct access to Chinese markets while maintaining robust legal and regulatory systems designed to protect foreign investment. Most importantly, its compact size and concentrated population created unparalleled opportunities for infrastructure development ventures that could generate monopolistic advantages akin to those the Kadoorie family had already achieved in Shanghai. The momentous decision to establish significant operations in Hong Kong while prudently maintaining Shanghai investments would prove to be one of the most consequential strategic choices in the entire Kadoorie family history. Hong Kong was destined to provide the unshakable foundation for building business empires capable of surviving political upheavals, foreign invasions, and economic transformations that would ultimately destroy most other business dynasties operating across Asia. In the pivotal year of 1906, Kadoorie made a singular decision that would fundamentally define his family's destiny for the ensuing century. He firmly committed to establishing major business operations in Hong Kong, presciently recognizing that this small yet strategically vital British colony would become the stable and enduring bedrock for vast Asian commercial empires. While mainland China braced itself for decades of unrelenting political upheaval and profound instability, Hong Kong in 1906 offered a stark and welcoming contrast, a haven of relative calm and promising economic opportunity. Still, most investors largely regarded it as a colonial backwater with limited economic prospects. The colony's population barely surpassed 300,000, dispersed across Hong Kong Island, the Kowloon Peninsula, and various rural areas that appeared economically insignificant when compared to bustling Asian metropolises such as Shanghai, Bombay, or Singapore. Yet, Kadoorie's discerning analysis pinpointed distinctive characteristics that rendered Hong Kong exceptionally appealing for long-term infrastructure investment. As a British Crown colony, it guaranteed a degree of legal and regulatory stability that was simply unparalleled elsewhere in Asia. Its advantageous strategic location boasted natural harbor facilities perfectly suited to serve the burgeoning international trade. Most critically, its concentrated geography presented unparalleled opportunities for establishing monopolistic control over essential services, an advantage that would compound dramatically in value as the economy developed. The strategic decision to concentrate on infrastructure rather than conventional trading operations showcased a distinctive foresight that set the Kadoorie family's investments apart from those of most other Hong Kong entrepreneurs. While venerable British trading houses like Jardine Matheson dominated international commerce, they remained inherently vulnerable to political shifts and competitive pressures that could easily erode their advantages. Conversely, infrastructure investments, particularly in vital services such as electricity and telecommunications, forged permanent competitive advantages that proved exceedingly difficult to displace. Kadourie's initial major investment in Hong Kong materialized with the establishment of the China Light and Power Company in 1901. Starting as a modest operation supplying electricity to a restricted clientele in central Hong Kong, the electric power industry itself was globally in its nascent stages, and Hong Kong's electrical infrastructure was virtually non-existent. The majority of businesses and residences relied on gas lighting, kerosene lamps, or candles for illumination. However, Kadoorie presciently recognized that electrification was an inevitable progression as Hong Kong's economy modernized and its population swelled. The critical question wasn't whether the demand for electricity would emerge, but rather who would command the infrastructure once that demand materialized. By establishing operations early and systematically expanding capacity proactively ahead of anticipated demand, China Light and Power was poised to achieve a dominant market position, one that would generate extraordinary profits for decades. The initial hurdles were monumental. Generating equipment had to be meticulously imported from Europe at substantial cost. Skilled technicians were locally unavailable, necessitating international recruitment. Developing extensive distribution networks across challenging terrain posed further difficulties. Most importantly, persuading Hong Kong residents and businesses to embrace electrical power demanded overcoming ingrained cultural resistance and demonstrating a level of reliability that early electrical systems often struggled to provide. Kadoorie systematically surmounted these challenges through unwavering investment in superior technology and exemplary customer service, thereby solidifying China Light and Power's reputation for unwavering reliability and innovation. Rather than opting for the cheapest available equipment, the company committed to investing in the most advanced generating and distribution technology accessible, ensuring that service quality consistently surpassed customer expectations. Their customer service approach was equally sophisticated and pioneering. China Light and Power offered complimentary electrical installation, equipment maintenance, and technical support, effectively dismantling barriers to electrical adoption. They provided flexible payment terms and competitive pricing, making electricity accessible to small businesses and residential customers, rather than exclusively targeting major commercial operations. Crucially, the company's expansion strategy prioritized long-term reliability and capacity development over immediate profit maximization. They meticulously built generating capacity that considerably exceeded current demand, while simultaneously establishing robust distribution networks designed to accommodate future urban development. This forward-thinking approach mandated substantial capital investment, which admittedly curtailed short-term profits, but strategically cultivated long-term monopolistic advantages. By 1910, China Light and Power commanded approximately 60% of Hong Kong's electrical market, generating profits that comfortably surpassed its initial investment costs. However, its true value transcended mere current profitability. It resided in the enduring control over essential infrastructure, which would become immeasurably valuable as Hong Kong evolved into a preeminent commercial center. Real estate investment emerged as the logical complement to infrastructure development, as Kadoorie keenly understood that electrical power would dramatically amplify property values, while his infrastructure investments would directly reap the benefits of urban development and population growth. His real estate strategy honed in on acquiring properties in areas poised to gain from electrification and urban expansion, but which were presently undervalued because other investors had yet to discern their true potential. These strategic purchases necessitated a meticulous analysis of Hong Kong's evolving development patterns, governmental planning decisions, and overarching economic trends that would shape future land values. The Kadoorie real estate portfolio strategically emphasized commercial properties capable of generating immediate rental income while simultaneously appreciating in value through ongoing economic development. Office buildings, warehouses, and retail properties situated in central Hong Kong provided immediate cash flow, all while benefiting from the colony's expanding stature as a regional commercial hub. Yet, the most far-sighted acquisitions involved undeveloped land that would inevitably become highly valuable through future infrastructure development and urban expansion. Kadoorie shrewdly purchased properties in areas slated to benefit from new transportation infrastructure, government development projects, and commercial growth developments that were, in his view, inevitable given Hong Kong's inherent geographic advantages and consistent British colonial backing. Financial services constituted the third cornerstone of the Hong Kong operations, meticulously building upon the extensive banking experience Kadoorie had cultivated in Shanghai. while adapting skillfully to Hong Kong's distinct regulatory environment and commercial culture. The existing Hong Kong financial sector was largely dominated by entrenched British banks that primarily catered to international trade and large-scale commercial operations, leaving burgeoning local markets significantly underserved by these established institutions. The Kadoorie's approach to Hong Kong financial services strategically emphasized relationship banking, serving the colony's rapidly growing community of Chinese entrepreneurs, burgeoning small international traders, and property developers who desperately needed access to credit and financial services but typically did not qualify for conventional British banking relationships. These financial operations were ingeniously structured to not only support other Kadoorie business interests but also to generate independent profits. Real estate developers, for instance, received construction financing on favorable terms. Chinese businesses gained crucial access to international credit and foreign exchange services. International traders secured trade financing that significantly enabled the expansion of regional commerce. However, the strategic value of these financial ventures extended far beyond immediate profits. They provided invaluable market intelligence and fostered relationship development that furnished competitive advantages across the entire Kadoorie business portfolio. Banking relationships systematically generated detailed information regarding economic conditions, emerging commercial opportunities, and potential investments, enabling superior decision-making across all other business sectors. The masterful integration of infrastructure, real estate, and financial services forged powerful synergistic advantages, enabling each business sector to mutually support and enhance the others. Electrical infrastructure demonstrably increased real estate values. Real estate development, in turn, created an escalating demand for additional electrical capacity. Financial services provided the necessary capital for expansion, while simultaneously generating vital intelligence about commercial opportunities. By 1914, the Kadoorie family effectively controlled business operations in Hong Kong that generated annual profits exceeding £100,000, all while maintaining substantial operations in Shanghai and other prominent Asian markets. This diversified structure provided both stability and robust growth opportunities, concurrently mitigating risks associated with political upheaval or economic disruption in any single geographic location. However, the impending World War I would severely test the resilience of this meticulously crafted business model, even as it paradoxically created unprecedented opportunities for expansion that would ultimately transform the Kadoorie family from successful entrepreneurs into one of Asia's most powerful and enduring business dynasties. The war profoundly disrupted international trade, engendered critical shortages of essential goods and services, and starkly demonstrated the profound value of controlling vital infrastructure that remained indispensable irrespective of external political and economic conditions. Elie Kadoorie had astutely positioned his family to capitalize on Hong Kong's development during a period when most other investors were myopically focused on immediate opportunities rather than long-term infrastructure development. His sons, Lawrence and Horace, would inherit not merely substantial business operations, but also profound strategic insights regarding infrastructure investment, the art of relationship development, and political adaptation, a formidable legacy that would empower the Kadoorie family to construct one of Asia's most resilient business empires. The foundational strength established in Hong Kong between 1906 and 1914 would prove absolutely crucial for surviving the tumultuous political upheavals, severe economic disruptions, and devastating military conflicts that would tragically dominate Asian history for the subsequent several decades. The Kadoorie family had strategically positioned themselves not just to survive, but to truly thrive during periods when most other business operations would desperately struggle merely to exist. The remarkable transformation of China Light and Power from a modest electrical company into Hong Kong's preeminent utility empire stands as one of the most compelling examples of a successful infrastructure monopoly in modern business history. Under the astute leadership of Lawrence and Horace Kadoorie, the company achieved extraordinary profitability, simultaneously becoming so utterly essential to Hong Kong's economic functionality that political leaders, spanning diverse governmental systems, consistently protected its operations. When Lawrence and Horace Kadoorie assumed control of the family's extensive operations in the 1922, China Light and Power served approximately 15,000 customers in central Hong Kong, with a generating capacity of 12 megawatts. By 1950, the company was supplying electricity to over 200,000 customers, its generating capacity having surged to exceed 100 megawatts. Today, China Light and Power provides essential service to 2.5 million customers, with an impressive capacity of 8,888 megawatts, firmly establishing itself as one of the world's most profitable utility companies. However, the true measure of its achievement wasn't merely its sheer scale. It was the ingenious creation of regulatory and operational advantages that rendered competition virtually impossible, while simultaneously ensuring that every expansion of Hong Kong's vibrant economy inherently increased the demand for their indispensable services. The Kadoorie brothers masterfully discovered how to build business empires that not only grew more valuable, but also became more secure as the regions they meticulously served became increasingly prosperous. The strategic bedrock of their success lay in recognizing that electrical utilities operating within small, contained territories could achieve a de facto natural monopoly status. This was accomplished through a combination of superior infrastructure development, an unwavering commitment to customer service excellence, and sophisticated regulatory relationship management. Unlike highly competitive industries where success inevitably attracts rivals who can erode profit margins, utilities, when expertly managed, could attain permanent dominant positions that progressively accrued greater value over time. Lawrence Kadourie's approach to utility management brilliantly integrated engineering excellence with sophisticated financial planning. This allowed for continuous, proactive expansion well ahead of actual demand, all while meticulously maintaining profit margins that consistently surpassed those of most other business sectors. The company consistently invested in generating capacity and distribution infrastructure designed to serve Hong Kong's development 5 to 10 years in advance of actual requirements. This forward-thinking strategy necessitated substantial capital investment, which, though it reduced short-term profits, forged powerful, long-term competitive advantages that made customer acquisition and retention virtually automatic. Whenever Hong Kong businesses required electrical power, China Light and Power was invariably the sole viable supplier, renowned for its proven reliability and ample capacity. The customer service innovations proved equally pivotal in establishing these permanent competitive advantages. China Light and Power proactively provided electrical installation, equipment maintenance, and comprehensive technical support services. These offerings effectively eliminated all conceivable barriers to electrical adoption, simultaneously ensuring such high levels of customer satisfaction that switching to potential competitive suppliers became economically irrational. The company's rigorous technician training programs produced electrical workers whose skills not only met but often exceeded those available anywhere else in Asia. Their meticulous equipment maintenance services ensured that customer electrical systems operated with greater reliability and efficiency than those serviced by any competitive offerings. Their technical support included invaluable free consultation on electrical system design, strategies for energy efficiency, and optimal equipment selection. Most importantly, China Light and Power's billing and customer service systems were meticulously designed for unparalleled convenience and flexibility, making electrical service genuinely accessible to small businesses and residential customers, rather than limiting service exclusively to major commercial operations. Flexible payment terms, practical budget billing options, and rapid service connection efficiently eliminated economic barriers to electrical adoption for a broad spectrum of users. The regulatory strategy was arguably the most crucial component in securing their permanent monopoly status. Lawrence Kadoorie shrewdly understood that utility regulation was an inevitable development as Hong Kong's government matured and became more sophisticated. Rather than viewing it as a constraint, he strategically positioned China Light and Power to significantly benefit from regulation. The company's proactive approach involved the voluntary adoption of service standards, safety protocols, and reliability requirements that not only met but often substantially exceeded existing governmental regulations. Concurrently, they established technical and operational capabilities that would be extraordinarily difficult for any potential competitors to replicate or match. Consequently, when Hong Kong authorities eventually did implement formal utility regulation, China Light and Power was already operating at such elevated standards that competitive licensing for new entrants became virtually impossible. The company also diligently cultivated cooperative relationships with Hong Kong's government, fostering mutual benefits while simultaneously ensuring unwavering political support for their unchallenged monopoly position. China Light and Power, for instance, provided electrical infrastructure for government facilities at favorable rates, while also consulting on electrification planning in ways that served both public interests and the company's own commercial objectives. During the tumultuous period of World War II, China Light and Power's strategic value became undeniably apparent to every political faction that exerted control over Hong Kong territory. The Japanese occupation authorities, despite their wartime objectives, meticulously protected company operations because electrical infrastructure was absolutely essential for both military activities and civilian administration. Chinese Communist forces, despite their ideological opposition, deliberately refrained from sabotaging electrical facilities, understanding that power disruption would severely harm the civilian populations they aimed to protect. British colonial authorities, upon their return, prioritized the rapid restoration of electrical service, recognizing that swift economic recovery was entirely contingent upon a reliable power supply. This wartime experience conclusively demonstrated that China Light and Power had achieved a unique infrastructure status that transcended normal political divisions. All governmental authorities, irrespective of their ideological differences or territorial ambitions, fundamentally required electrical power. The company had become too indispensable to be eliminated or significantly constrained by any political authority. Post-war expansion vividly illustrated just how effectively the Kadoorie brothers had strategically positioned China Light and Power to capitalize on Hong Kong's burgeoning economic development. As the colony rapidly emerged as Asia's dominant financial and commercial center, the demand for electrical power surged exponentially, while China Light and Power's unassailable monopoly position ensured that every increase in demand generated additional profits. The company's expansion throughout the 1,950 seconds and 1,960 seconds involved systematic territory acquisition and meticulous capacity development. This strategy not only extended their monopoly across virtually all of Hong Kong but also established technical capabilities that could readily serve much larger markets. Generating capacity dramatically increased from 100 megawatts in 1950 to over 1,000 megawatts by 1970, while its service territory expanded to encompass virtually all of Hong Kong and the new territories. However, their most sophisticated achievement was the brilliant financial engineering that enabled this massive expansion without either diluting the Kadoorie family's controlling interest or necessitating governmental financing. China Light and Power skillfully issued bonds and attracted international investment, all while meticulously maintaining Kadoorie family management control and ensuring that the vast majority of expansion profits accrued primarily to family shareholders. The financing strategies involved intricate arrangements with international banks, prominent insurance companies, and large pension funds. These partnerships provided the essential capital for infrastructure development, while offering external investors stable, predictable returns, which were securely backed by Hong Kong's robust economic growth and China Light and Power's unchallenged monopoly position. Crucially, these arrangements were meticulously structured to ensure that external investors received predetermined returns, while capital appreciation and critical operational control remained firmly under Kadoorie family management. This ingenious system allowed the company to access virtually unlimited capital for expansion while simultaneously maintaining strategic independence and continuous family wealth accumulation. The technical innovations meticulously implemented by China Light and Power established operational efficiencies that quickly became industry benchmarks worldwide. The company's power generation facilities achieved thermal efficiency rates that consistently exceeded international standards, all while maintaining reliability records that surpassed those of utilities even in much wealthier countries. The distribution system innovations were equally impressive and forward-thinking. China Light and Power pioneered the development of extensive underground distribution networks, a critical advancement that effectively eliminated power outages during devastating typhoons, concurrently reducing maintenance costs and significantly improving overall service reliability. Their advanced electrical grid management systems achieved remarkably low loss rates, often below 3% among the lowest in the world. Most importantly, the company's sophisticated load management and demand forecasting capabilities enabled precise, optimized capacity planning. This minimized capital requirements while consistently ensuring an adequate power supply even during periods of peak demand. These advanced capabilities necessitated sophisticated mathematical modeling and cutting-edge computer systems, which provided China Light and Power with significant technical advantages over any potential competitors. By 1980, China Light and Power had achieved operating margins exceeding 15%, all while serving one of the world's most demanding electrical markets. The company's formidable technical capabilities, deep-rooted customer relationships, and unassailable regulatory position created barriers to competitive entry that were virtually insurmountable. The financial results were nothing short of extraordinary for the Kadoorie family's wealth accumulation. China Light and Power generated annual profits exceeding $1 billion by 1980, while consistently providing dividend returns that outperformed those available from most other Hong Kong investments. The company's stock value skyrocketed by over 20% between 1,945 and 1,980, cementing its status as one of the most successful investments in Asian financial markets. However, the true strategic value lay not just in these impressive figures, but in demonstrating how infrastructure control could provide permanent competitive advantages that progressively became more valuable as the served territories grew more prosperous. The Kadoorie family had profoundly discovered how to construct business empires that benefited automatically from economic development, all while remaining utterly essential to continued prosperity. The China Light and Power model would profoundly influence Kadoorie family investments across multiple business sectors, establishing enduring principles for infrastructure development that continue to generate extraordinary returns even today. They had unequivocally proven that patient capital investment in essential services could create business empires that transcended individual political systems, while simultaneously generating wealth that accumulated robustly across multiple generations. The power empire wasn't merely about electricity. It was about a profound understanding of how to build businesses that inherently became more essential over time, thereby forging permanent competitive advantages that no political authority could eliminate without inadvertently harming its own interests. The Peninsula Hong Kong, which majestically opened its doors in 1928, was far more than just another luxury hotel. It served as the foundational cornerstone of what would ultimately become the world's most prestigious hotel empire, and stands as a masterclass in the art of building brand value that not only endures but transcends economic cycles, political upheavals, and intense competitive pressures. When the Kadoorie family initially decided to venture into the hospitality business, they confronted well-established competition from formidable international hotel chains and seasoned local operators who already catered to Hong Kong's burgeoning business and tourism markets. However, Lawrence and Horace Kadoorie shrewdly recognized that luxury hospitality represented something far more strategic than conventional business competition. It was, in essence, a unique opportunity to forge institutional relationships with the most powerful and influential individuals across Asia. The Peninsula concept brilliantly reflected a sophisticated understanding of how critical business networks function at the highest echelons of international commerce and politics. By meticulously crafting a hotel that irresistibly attracted world leaders, major business executives, and cultural celebrities, the Kadoories could cultivate invaluable personal relationships that would furnish competitive advantages across the entirety of their diverse business interests. The choice of location unequivocally demonstrated this profound strategic thinking. Rather than constructing the hotel within Hong Kong's already established commercial district, the peninsula was strategically built in Tsim Sha Tsui, Kowloon, positioned directly adjacent to the Star Ferry terminal that served as the primary nexus connecting Kowloon to Hong Kong Island. This prime location instantly positioned the hotel as the natural and most prestigious arrival point for international visitors, concurrently establishing a dominant presence in territory that was clearly poised for significant future development. However, the Kadoorie vision extended far beyond the harbor, actively seeking to position the hotel at the forefront of the emerging aviation age. Beyond its maritime location, Lawrence Kadoorie actively shaped the hotel's destiny by successfully petitioning the colonial government to grant landing rights to the Pan Am Clipper. This strategic intervention effectively transformed the peninsula into the gateway for the first trans-Pacific flights, ushering in a new era of global travel where aviation and luxury hospitality became inextricably linked. Yet, the truly groundbreaking innovation lay in its service standards, which not only exceeded anything previously available in Asia, but also ingeniously incorporated unique cultural elements that appealed to both discerning Western and sophisticated Asian guests. The Peninsula's service philosophy masterfully blended the time-honored traditions of European luxury hotels with the inherent warmth and meticulous customs of Asian hospitality, creating truly unique and memorable experiences for international travelers. The staff training programs meticulously developed by the Peninsula quickly became industry benchmarks for luxury hospitality worldwide. Every single employee received extensive, rigorous training in multiple languages, nuanced cultural sensitivity, and refined service techniques, thereby enabling personalized and anticipatory attention for guests hailing from incredibly diverse cultural backgrounds. The hotel's unparalleled concierge services provided exclusive access to a wealth of business, cultural, and social opportunities throughout Asia. Most importantly, the Peninsula's guest relationships were meticulously managed as long-term strategic assets, rather than merely transactional customer interactions. Regular guests consistently received highly personalized service that precisely addressed their specific preferences, evolving business requirements, and intricate social interests. The hotel maintained exceptionally detailed records of guest preferences and consistently delivered services that forged deep emotional connections, extending far beyond conventional commercial transactions. The iconic Rolls-Royce fleet served as the perfect, opulent symbol of the Peninsula's distinctive approach to luxury hospitality. The hotel's fleet of distinctive green Rolls-Royce vehicles provided transportation services that were simultaneously practical and profoundly symbolic. Guests enjoyed convenient, supremely comfortable transportation while also being conspicuously associated with visible symbols of prestige and exclusivity. However, this meticulously maintained fleet also served crucial business intelligence functions for the astute Kadoorie family. Drivers were expertly trained to discreetly provide invaluable information regarding guests' business activities, social connections, and commercial interests. These exclusive transportation services thereby created unique opportunities for informal conversations that yielded profound insights into prevailing Asian business conditions, nascent political developments, and emerging investment opportunities. The illustrious guest list that developed during the Peninsula's first several decades reads like a definitive who's who of 20th century world leadership. Virtually every American president, British Prime Minister, and major European leader who visited Asia chose to reside at the Peninsula. Eminent business leaders, including the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and prominent Asian industrialists, were regular and highly valued guests. Hollywood celebrities, celebrated international artists, and influential cultural figures consistently utilized the Peninsula as their de facto Asian headquarters. These unparalleled relationships provided the Kadoorie family with unprecedented access to critical information, exclusive investment opportunities, and potent political influence, advantages that would have been utterly impossible to achieve through conventional business operations. Casual conversations with these esteemed guests frequently generated invaluable insights into international economic trends, pivotal political developments, and burgeoning commercial opportunities, enabling superior decision-making across all of the Kadoorie family's diverse business interests. This sophisticated integration created a powerful, leveraged business model. In fact, the strategic value of the hotel kingdom to their other holdings was priceless. The true competitive advantage of the Peninsula lay not in its impressive revenue per room, but in its function as a relationship matrix. The hotel was a magnet that drew the world's most powerful people into one physical location. This unparalleled access, combined with the discreet intelligence provided by their specialized staff, turned luxury hospitality into an invaluable asset for strategic information gathering. Their guests were essentially subsidizing the Kadoorie's intelligence network. The strategic expansion of Peninsula hotels throughout the 1,960 and 1,970 vividly demonstrated how effectively the family had learned to leverage hospitality relationships for broader business development. New Peninsula properties, strategically opened in Bangkok, Manila, Beijing, and other major Asian cities, served as vital platforms for expanding Kadoorie business interests while simultaneously extending their invaluable network of influential relationships. Each new Peninsula property was meticulously positioned to cater to the most important business and political leaders within its respective market, all while rigorously maintaining the impeccable service standards that consistently ensured guest satisfaction and unwavering loyalty. The expansion strategy deliberately prioritized strategic locations over immediate profitability, sagely recognizing that hotel operations could generate immense value through relationship development that extended far beyond mere room revenues. The Bangkok Peninsula, which opened in 1998, perfectly exemplified this astute approach. Thailand at that time was experiencing rapid economic development and profound political transformation, creating unique opportunities for foreign investors who possessed the unique ability to skillfully navigate complex regulatory environments and intricate cultural relationships. The peninsula provided the Kadoorie family with an ideal platform for building enduring relationships with influential Thai political leaders, prominent business executives, and key international investors who were actively participating in Thailand's economic development. Similarly, the Beijing Peninsula, which opened in 1989, strategically positioned the Kadoorie family to actively participate in China's momentous economic opening while diligently maintaining crucial relationships with Chinese political leaders who would ultimately determine the landscape of foreign investment opportunities. The hotel's strategic location near diplomatic and major commercial districts ensured that its guest roster consistently included key decision-makers in Chinese economic policy. The Peninsula New York, which opened in 1988, symbolized the family's ambitious expansion into Western markets, yet it artfully maintained the distinctive Asian cultural elements that unequivocally distinguished Peninsula properties from conventional American and European luxury hotels. The New York property provided invaluable access to American financial markets and vast business networks, while also serving as a magnificent showcase for unparalleled Asian luxury hospitality standards. However, the most profound strategic value of this hotel expansion lay in creating global platforms for the family's diverse business interests that extended far beyond mere hospitality operations. Peninsula Properties consistently provided sophisticated venues for critical business meetings, significant investment discussions, and invaluable relationship development that directly supported Kadoorie interests in real estate, finance, infrastructure, and numerous other business sectors. The hotel operations also functioned as highly effective intelligence networks, systematically generating crucial information about prevailing economic conditions, dynamic political developments, and emerging commercial opportunities across multiple regions. The carefully cultivated guest relationships, extensive staff networks, and intricate business operations together created privileged access to information that would have been extraordinarily expensive and difficult to obtain through conventional intelligence gathering methods. Financial performance unequivocally demonstrated how effectively the Peninsula brand had been strategically positioned for long-term value creation rather than myopic immediate profit maximization. Peninsula Properties consistently achieved impressive occupancy rates, often exceeding 80%, while meticulously maintaining average room rates that were consistently among the highest in their respective markets. But the real and enduring value resided in the formidable brand equity that enabled premium pricing and fostered a deep customer loyalty that proved virtually immune to competitive pressure. Peninsula guests typically remained fiercely loyal to the brand for decades, enthusiastically recommending its properties to esteemed business associates and cherished family members. The profound emotional connections meticulously created through superior, personalized service generated customer relationships that were essentially permanent and deeply embedded. The peninsula's remarkable resilience during severe economic downturns and periods of profound political crisis eloquently demonstrated the inherent defensive characteristics of its luxury brand positioning. During the devastating Asian financial crisis of 1997, Peninsula Properties not only maintained their occupancy and pricing levels but also thrived, while numerous competitors faced significant declines and severe distress. During periods of political upheaval and heightened security concerns, Peninsula guests implicitly trusted the brand's unwavering safety and service standards far more than any local alternatives. Investment returns faithfully reflected the brand's exceptional performance characteristics. Peninsula hotels consistently generated robust profitability, while their property values appreciated substantially and steadily over time. The powerful combination of strong operational profits and significant capital appreciation provided total returns that consistently exceeded those available from most other hospitality investments. However, the strategic value of this hotel kingdom extended far beyond mere financial returns. It translated into unparalleled influence and access that significantly enhanced returns across the entire Kadoorie business portfolio. Hotel relationships consistently provided exclusive investment opportunities, crucial regulatory information, and vital political access that measurably augmented returns from real estate, infrastructure, and financial services operations. The Hotel Kingdom represented something truly unprecedented in Asian business, a family enterprise that meticulously forged permanent competitive advantages through sophisticated relationship development, rather than through mere product differentiation or cost advantages. The Kadoorie family had profoundly discovered how to build businesses that inherently became more valuable through an accumulated reservoir of customer loyalty and powerful brand recognition that matured and deepened across generations, rather than gradually declining under competitive pressure. The Peninsula model would ultimately influence luxury hospitality worldwide, simultaneously establishing enduring principles for relationship-based business development that continue to generate extraordinary returns even today. The Hotel Kingdom wasn't merely about hospitality. It was about a profound understanding of how to create institutional value through deeply personal relationships that transcend individual transactions, all while cultivating permanent competitive advantages. December 25, 1941, Christmas Day, marked the devastating fall of Hong Kong to overwhelming Japanese forces, thereby initiating the greatest trial the Kadoorie family would ever confront in their impressive 140-year business history. The brutal Japanese occupation would systematically dismantle and destroy most European businesses operating in Hong Kong, severely testing whether the resilient Kadoorie Empire could possibly survive military conquest, systematic persecution, and the complete collapse of the intricate legal and commercial systems that had been instrumental in enabling their unparalleled success. The surprise attack on Hong Kong commenced on December 8, 1941, just one day after the infamous Pearl Harbor attack, when vastly superior Japanese forces launched coordinated and devastating assaults on British positions throughout the entire colony. Within a mere 18 days, the formidable Japanese military had completely overwhelmed the valiant but outmatched British defenses, establishing absolute and undisputed control over all Hong Kong territory. For the Kadoorie family, the Japanese occupation presented an existential crisis for the Kadoorie family, threatening to dismantle 4 decades of painstaking business development and imperil their personal safety as prominent Jewish entrepreneurs in a territory allied with Germany. Japanese authorities swiftly enforced policies of systematic persecution, targeting not only British nationals and influential Chinese merchants but also the Jewish population. Yet, the adversity of the war years would remarkably underscore the inherent resilience of business empires forged on foundational infrastructure and robust relationships, proving more durable than those based purely on fluid financial assets. The Kadoorie survival strategy was a testament to their sophisticated understanding of how to sustain business continuity even amidst catastrophic conditions that brought most other commercial operations to ruin. Lawrence and Horace Kadoorie, demonstrating remarkable foresight, had already anticipated the ominous possibility of a Japanese invasion. They meticulously implemented contingency plans designed to safeguard core family assets while simultaneously ensuring continuous operational control over their vital business infrastructure. In stark contrast to many other Hong Kong business leaders who sought refuge in safer territories, the Kadoorie brothers made the courageous decision to remain, directly overseeing and protecting their extensive operations. This unwavering decision to stay in occupied Hong Kong demanded extraordinary courage. Japanese authorities regarded prominent Jewish business leaders with deep suspicion, viewing them as potential security threats who might secretly support Allied resistance efforts. Consequently, the Kadoorie family endured constant surveillance, severe restrictions on their movement, and the ever-present specter of arrest and internment, which would have irrevocably stripped them of any ability to influence their sprawling business interests. China Light and Power, their flagship utility, represented both the gravest risk and the most crucial opportunity during this perilous occupation. Given that electrical infrastructure was indispensable for Japanese military operations and their civilian administration, the company's continuous function rendered it incredibly valuable to the occupying authorities. However, Japanese control simultaneously placed the company's management in a precarious position, facing demands for cooperation that could potentially compromise their standing with Allied authorities once the war concluded. The Kadoorie's nuanced approach involved a delicate balancing act. They meticulously maintained technical control over China Light and Power's operations, providing only the cooperation deemed absolutely necessary to Japanese authorities, all without undermining their long-term strategic objectives. They deliberately presented themselves as indispensable technical specialists, critical for ensuring the uninterrupted provision of electrical service, rather than as political collaborators endorsing Japanese policies. Indeed, Japanese authorities were critically reliant on China Light and Power's generating capacity and extensive distribution networks to sustain essential services for both military installations and the civilian populace. The company's specialized technical expertise was, quite simply, irreplaceable. Japanese engineers notoriously lacked detailed knowledge of Hong Kong's intricate electrical infrastructure, while the local Chinese technical staff required a level of expert supervision and coordination that only the Kadoorie family's management could reliably provide. This intricate web of mutual dependency ingeniously created avenues for the Kadoorie family to retain significant influence over company operations, thereby ensuring that this critical infrastructure remained fully operational throughout the arduous occupation. It allowed them to protect their substantial business interests, while simultaneously providing services that were genuinely vital for the welfare of the civilian population. This intricate strategy necessitated an incredibly careful navigation of competing demands. On one side, Japanese authorities clamored for maximum electrical output for their military objectives, while on the other, local Chinese communities desperately needed power for their fundamental daily living requirements. The Kadoorie brothers skillfully positioned themselves as neutral technical administrators, capable of optimizing electrical service for all users, rather than as partisan advocates for any specific political interest. Peninsula Hotel operations, in contrast, faced a distinctly different set of challenges. Unlike electrical power, luxury hospitality was certainly not deemed essential for Japanese military objectives. While the property itself represented incredibly valuable real estate that occupation authorities might well requisition for alternative uses, the hotel's prestigious location and superior facilities made it an obvious and prime target for conversion into military headquarters, barracks, or administrative offices. The ingenious solution devised by the Kadoories involved persuasively demonstrating to Japanese authorities that the continued operation of the hotel would, in fact, serve their own interests more effectively than a mere property conversion. The peninsula, they argued, could provide high-end luxury accommodations for Japanese officials, sophisticated meeting facilities for crucial administrative functions, and prestigious venues for diplomatic activities, all of which would subtly enhance Japanese authority and prestige while crucially maintaining the employment of the hotel staff. This bespoke arrangement not only enabled the peninsula to continue operating, but also to generate crucial revenue that could support staff salaries and property maintenance during a period when tourism and business travel had virtually vanished. More strategically, these ongoing hotel operations provided an invaluable cover for maintaining vital relationships and assiduously gathering intelligence, information that would prove immensely valuable for Hong Kong's post-war recovery. Financial survival during this period necessitated exceptionally sophisticated strategies for both safeguarding their accumulated wealth and ensuring sufficient liquidity for ongoing operational expenses and the anticipated demands of post-war reconstruction. The Kadoorie family found themselves unable to rely on Hong Kong banks, which were now under Japanese control, or on international financial institutions, which were largely inaccessible during the global conflict. Their innovative solution involved strategically diversifying their financial assets across multiple currencies, jurisdictions, and various investment vehicles. This protected them against the prevalent risks of currency devaluation, arbitrary asset confiscation, and pervasive political instability. Tangible assets such as gold, precious stones, and other portable valuables offered a crucial form of wealth preservation, independent of any particular political regime or economic system. However, arguably the most important survival strategy revolved around meticulously maintaining and cultivating relationships with key Chinese business leaders, influential British officials, and vital American representatives, individuals who would ultimately shape the post-war reconstruction policies and dictate future business opportunities. These relationships demanded extremely careful nurturing throughout the occupation, all while scrupulously avoiding any politically compromising positions. The Kadoorie family skillfully leveraged their various business operations to offer services and assistance to a diverse array of political networks, yet they consistently refrained from expressing any explicit political loyalties that might create future complications with any post-war authority. They maintained discreet contact with Chinese resistance groups, British intelligence networks, and American business interests, all while meticulously avoiding any activities that could provoke Japanese retaliation. Staff management during the occupation vividly demonstrated the profound value of the employee loyalty that the Kadoorie family had diligently cultivated over decades through their exemplary employment practices. Despite the intense Japanese pressure and severe economic hardships that might have otherwise incentivized defection to rival employers, employees of China Light and Power and the Peninsula Hotel remained steadfastly loyal to company management. This unwavering employee loyalty provided crucial, tangible advantages for maintaining business continuity and rigorously protecting company assets during a period when formal legal protections were virtually non-existent. Dedicated staff members actively safeguarded facilities against potential sabotage, theft, and unauthorized appropriation, all while diligently maintaining the technical capabilities that would enable a swift and robust post-war recovery. The liberation of Hong Kong in August 1945 immediately opened up unparalleled opportunities for those prescient business leaders who had managed to sustain their operational capabilities and strategic relationships throughout the occupation. While numerous pre-war businesses had been utterly eliminated or severely crippled, the Kadoorie family was uniquely positioned not only to actively participate in reconstruction efforts, but also to significantly expand their market share. China Light and Power's extensive infrastructure had been meticulously maintained in fully operating condition throughout the entire war, allowing for the immediate resumption of full electrical service, while its competitors painstakingly struggled to restore their damaged facilities. The company's superior technical capabilities and enduring customer relationships provided decisive advantages for capturing a substantially increased market share during the burgeoning post-war economic recovery. The Peninsula Hotel's swift return to its legendary luxury service standards enabled an immediate resumption of operations, firmly re-establishing the property as Hong Kong's premier venue for pivotal post-war business and diplomatic activities. The hotel's diligent wartime maintenance and successful staff retention ensured unparalleled service capabilities that far exceeded those of its damaged rivals. Most importantly, the Kadoorie family's astute wartime relationship management provided invaluable access to crucial reconstruction financing, lucrative business opportunities, and significant political influence, all of which fueled their rapid expansion during Hong Kong's extraordinary post-war economic boom. Their comprehensive survival strategies had not merely preserved existing business operations, but had strategically positioned them for accelerated growth throughout the vibrant 1,950 seconds and 1,960 seconds. The profound war experience established crucial precedents for business survival amidst political transitions, principles that would profoundly influence Kadoorie family strategy for generations to come. They had unequivocally demonstrated that infrastructure businesses, when underpinned by superior management and unwavering employee relationships, possessed the intrinsic ability to survive even the most extreme political disruptions, often emerging stronger than competitors who lacked these foundational advantages. The invaluable survival lessons gleaned during the Japanese occupation would prove equally pertinent and valuable during subsequent significant political transitions, including the Chinese Civil War, the era of British decolonization, and ultimately, Hong Kong's momentous return to Chinese sovereignty. The Kadoorie family had, through sheer ingenuity and resilience, discovered how to construct formidable business empires capable of thriving irrespective of which political authority controlled their operating territories. This deep understanding shaped their later investments. For the Kadoories, the core infrastructure strategy was to create indispensability. The Kadoorie brothers' success wasn't just about engineering, it was rooted in an almost religious belief that essential infrastructure could outlive any political regime. They proved that when a government needs your service to function, they protect your business, regardless of their ideology. This is the essence of the infrastructure mindset: create institutional power that is indispensable to the state. The decade immediately following World War II heralded the most remarkable period of expansion in the Kadoorie family's storied history. As Hong Kong rapidly transformed from a war-ravaged colonial outpost into Asia's preeminent financial and commercial hub, The family's astute wartime survival strategies impeccably positioned them to capitalize on every reconstruction opportunity. Simultaneously, Hong Kong itself evolved into the indispensable gateway connecting China with the burgeoning global economy. Hong Kong's strategic, geographic, and political position became extraordinarily valuable during this era, particularly as the ongoing Chinese Civil War displaced millions of refugees. These individuals, fleeing the mainland, brought with them not only substantial capital and invaluable skills, but also extensive business networks, injecting unprecedented dynamism into the British colony. Shanghai's commercial elite, anticipating the communist takeover, strategically relocated their entire operations to Hong Kong. As communist forces progressively gained control over mainland China, this mass exodus created unparalleled opportunities for established Hong Kong businesses, which were uniquely positioned to provide essential services to these newly arrived and displaced Chinese entrepreneurs. Nowhere was this alignment between philanthropy and long-term profitability more clearly demonstrated than in their unique agricultural initiatives. This synergy was brilliantly epitomized by the Kadoorie Agricultural Aid Association, which provided pigs to refugees based on a virtuous economic cycle conceived by Lawrence. If refugees prospered through farming, they would build houses. If they built houses, they would need light, and if they needed light, they would ultimately become loyal customers of China Light and Power. Lawrence and Horace Kadoorie, with their characteristic acumen, immediately recognized that the influx of Chinese refugee capital would be the primary catalyst driving Hong Kong's profound economic transformation. This capital, they understood, would generate an immense demand for infrastructure, financial services, and real estate development sectors that stood to benefit every facet of their diversified business empire. Their decisive response vividly demonstrated the sophisticated strategic thinking that distinguished successful Hong Kong families from those who ultimately failed to capitalize on the extraordinary post-war opportunities. China Light and Power's aggressive expansion during the 1,950 seconds perfectly exemplified this forward-thinking approach. Hong Kong's population exploded from a mere 600,000 inches, 1,945, to well over 2 million by 1955. With the vast majority of these new residents concentrated in urban areas. This demographic surge created an insatiable demand for electrical power, essential for both residential and burgeoning commercial use. Critically, the company's meticulous wartime preservation of its infrastructure enabled an immediate and seamless service expansion, avoiding the costly delays that would have been inevitable had generating capacity and distribution networks sustained damage. China Light and Power capitalized on the wartime preservation of its infrastructure for immediate service expansion. With the population surge, the company embarked on a massive investment program, applying its proven strategy of building capacity well ahead of demand. This strategic move rapidly extended its network across Kowloon and the New Territories, which solidified their monopolistic position and generated high operating margins as Hong Kong's economy accelerated. The early 1,950 seconds. Pouring capital into new generating stations and extensively expanding distribution networks across Kowloon and the New Territories, at a time when other utility companies were still largely preoccupied with the more modest task of merely restoring pre-war service levels. This ambitious expansion strategy demanded substantial capital investment, which, in the short term, inevitably reduced immediate profits. Nevertheless, it brilliantly forged monopolistic advantages that became extraordinarily valuable as Hong Kong's economy continued its rapid and sustained growth. By 1960, China Light and Power had solidified its dominance, controlling over 70% of Hong Kong's electrical market while consistently generating impressive operating margins that routinely exceeded 20%. This dominance was not maintained through fair weather alone, but was tested and solidified in the crucible of the city's most volatile political crises. In a defining moment of defiance during the 1967 riots, while tear gas lingered in the streets and other investors fled the colony, Lawrence Kadoorie ordered the construction of a massive new power station at Tsing Yi. By doubling down on infrastructure when the city's future seemed most bleak, he bet his entire fortune on Hong Kong's eventual stability. The sophisticated financial engineering underpinning this expansion showcased a deep understanding of how strategic infrastructure development could attract significant international investment while simultaneously preserving steadfast family control over core operations. China Light and Power skillfully issued bonds to international investors, meticulously structuring the financing arrangements to ensure that the Kadoorie family management not only retained critical operational control, but also directly benefited from any capital appreciation. The family's real estate development during the Reconstruction period reflected an equally sophisticated strategic foresight. They applied their proven strategy of acquiring properties in undervalued regions that were poised to benefit from the inevitable urban expansion and infrastructure growth fueled by the massive influx of Chinese refugee capital. The family shrewdly acquired substantial property holdings across Hong Kong Island, Kowloon, and the New Territories, developing ambitious mixed-use projects designed to serve both the burgeoning Chinese refugee population and the expanding international business community. These projects, which combined residential, commercial, and office spaces, were specifically designed to generate diverse and resilient revenue streams while ensuring robust value appreciation. Notable achievements included distinctive residential developments in the prestigious Mid-Levels district and prominent commercial complexes in the Central district, firmly establishing the Kadoorie family as major players in the sector. Yet, these very parcels would ultimately become immensely valuable as Hong Kong's relentless urban development inexorably expanded into previously undeveloped territories. The expansion of their financial services mirrored Hong Kong's emergence as Asia's dominant financial center. They applied a relationship banking approach to serve both the established community and the newly arrived Chinese entrepreneurs, providing essential services like merchant banking and international trade financing. Crucially, their banking relationships generated invaluable, detailed market intelligence regarding emerging economic opportunities and commercial trends, enabling superior decision-making across all other Kadoorie business interests. Their extensive banking relationships generated invaluable, detailed information regarding emerging economic opportunities, prevailing commercial trends, and promising investment possibilities, thereby enabling superior decision-making in their real estate, infrastructure, and hospitality operations. Peninsula Hotels' expansion during the 1,950 seconds vividly demonstrated how the family adeptly leveraged their world-class hospitality expertise for broader business development across the entire Asian region. While Hong Kong proudly remained the flagship property, new peninsula developments in other major Asian cities served as strategic platforms for expanding the Kadoorie family's commercial interests throughout the continent. For instance, the Bangkok Peninsula, developed in the early 1,960 seconds, strategically positioned the family to actively participate in Thailand's burgeoning economic development. Simultaneously, it facilitated the cultivation of crucial relationships with influential Thai political leaders and business executives who controlled access to significant investment opportunities. The hotel's operations naturally provided prestigious venues for high-level business meetings and cultural events, which further enhanced the Kadoorie's influence within key Thai commercial networks. Similar astute strategies were systematically implemented in Manila, Singapore, and other vital regional centers, where peninsula properties consistently delivered both robust operational profits and served as indispensable strategic platforms for broader business development. Each new hotel was meticulously positioned to cater to the most influential political and business leaders in its respective market, all while rigorously upholding the impeccable peninsula service standards that consistently ensured customer loyalty and paramount brand recognition. The deliberate integration of infrastructure, real estate, financial services, and hospitality operations created powerful synergistic advantages, enabling each business sector to mutually support and enhance the others during Hong Kong's period of rapid economic expansion. Electrical infrastructure development, for example, directly contributed to increased property values. Real estate development, in turn, generated a heightened demand for additional electrical capacity. Financial services provided the essential capital required for expansion across all sectors. And, significantly, hotel operations offered invaluable opportunities for fostering critical relationship development. By 1965, the Kadoorie family presided over a formidable portfolio of business operations that generated annual revenues exceeding an impressive $8.5 billion while employing over 10,000 people across Asia. This strategically diversified structure not only afforded ample growth opportunities and effective risk reduction, but also firmly established the family as one of Hong Kong's most influential and enduring business dynasties. However, The most profound achievement was the establishment of innovative business models inherently designed to continuously generate value, irrespective of Hong Kong's long-term political status. As British colonial rule faced escalating international pressure and Chinese influence steadily increased, the Kadoorie family was meticulously positioning their extensive operations to thrive under any conceivable political arrangement that might govern Hong Kong's future. The transformative Reconstruction period had unequivocally demonstrated that strategic infrastructure control, astute real estate ownership, and the cultivation of invaluable relationships provided permanent competitive advantages that transcended the whims of individual political systems. The Kadoorie family had masterfully discovered how to construct formidable business empires that grew exponentially more valuable as Hong Kong prospered, while simultaneously remaining absolutely essential for its continued economic development. Their remarkable success during colonial rebuilding firmly established the foundations for even greater achievements during Hong Kong's subsequent emergence as a global financial center and its eventual historic transition to Chinese sovereignty. The Kadoorie Empire had not only proven its inherent resilience and adaptability, but had also meticulously built institutional advantages that would ensure its continued dominance for generations to come. The post-war expansion demonstrated the Kadoorie's most sophisticated move: business integration. They operated within a powerful quadrant where CLP, infrastructure, amplified real estate values. Financial services funded both, and the Peninsula, hospitality, provided the relationships to secure permits and capital. This created a self-reinforcing, mutually dependent ecosystem that made the entire portfolio stronger than the sum of its parts. This integrated model was the key to their dominance. Yet the biggest challenge came from the massive geopolitical shift they had to confront: the handover of sovereignty to China. The post-war expansion demonstrated the Kadoorie's most sophisticated move: business integration. They operated within a powerful quadrant where CLP, infrastructure, amplified real estate values, financial services funded both, and the Peninsula hospitality provided the relationships to secure permits and capital. This created a self-reinforcing, mutually dependent ecosystem that made the entire portfolio stronger than the sum of its parts. The announcement in 1984 of Hong Kong's impending return to Chinese sovereignty sent profound shockwaves throughout the international business community. For the Kadoorie family, however, it presented yet another unparalleled opportunity to unequivocally demonstrate their extraordinary aptitude for thriving amidst political transitions, events that had historically decimated other business empires. Their pioneering approach to navigating this momentous handover would, in fact, establish crucial templates for multinational business operations seeking success under Chinese rule. When British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and Chinese paramount leader Deng Xiaoping signed the pivotal Sino-British Joint Declaration in 1984, formally stipulating Hong Kong's return to China in 1997 under the One Country, Two Systems framework, most international businesses immediately began to formulate cautious exit strategies or adopt defensive positions aimed at shielding their investments from perceived political risks. The Kadoorie family, with characteristic boldness, chose a radically different and far more audacious approach. Rather than withdrawing or retrenching, they significantly increased their investments in Hong Kong. Simultaneously, they embarked on an intensive mission to build deep and meaningful relationships with Chinese authorities, believing this would not only enable expanded operations under Chinese sovereignty, but would ultimately be more advantageous than mere defensive survival strategies. Their meticulous analysis led them to the counterintuitive conclusion that Hong Kong's return to China would actually enhance, rather than imperil, their long-term business opportunities. This extraordinarily strategic decision reflected an exceptionally sophisticated understanding of China's overarching economic development priorities and the practical, undeniable requirements for Hong Kong to retain its vital role as Asia's dominant financial center. Chinese leaders, the Kadoories rightly surmised, desperately needed Hong Kong to remain prosperous and internationally connected to serve broader Chinese economic objectives. This made it economically irrational for Beijing to implement any policies that would jeopardize Hong Kong's inherent competitive advantages. Michael Kadoorie, representing the family's fourth generation, astutely spearheaded this complex transition strategy. He initiated a systematic program of relationship building with key Chinese political leaders, influential business executives, and leading academic institutions, all critical players who would significantly influence Hong Kong policy after 1997. Crucially, instead of perceiving Chinese authority as a threat to be merely managed, the family proactively positioned themselves as invaluable partners in realizing China's ambitious development objectives. This intensive relationship development involved extensive travel by Michael Kadoorie to Beijing, Shanghai, and other major Chinese cities, where he actively participated in high-level economic conferences, significant cultural events, and crucial policy discussions. These engagements served to powerfully demonstrate the family's deep commitment to Hong Kong's sustained success under Chinese sovereignty. Such activities demanded exceptionally careful navigation of complex political sensitivities while diligently building trust with Chinese leaders who, understandably, harbored a degree of skepticism regarding foreign business intentions. China Light & Power's ambitious expansion during the transition period vividly exemplified the family's profound confidence in Hong Kong's future, simultaneously demonstrating their remarkable ability to anticipate future infrastructure requirements under Chinese rule. The company invested billions of Hong Kong dollars into new generating capacity and crucial distribution infrastructure throughout the 1,980 seconds and 1,990 seconds, precisely at a time when many other businesses were cautiously reducing their commitments to Hong Kong. The astute expansion strategy involved constructing power generation facilities capable of serving not only Hong Kong, but also adjacent areas of Guangdong Province. This prescient move strategically positioned China Light & Power to participate directly in China's burgeoning economic development, thereby strengthening Hong Kong's pivotal role as a regional infrastructure hub. This ambitious undertaking necessitated extensive negotiations with Chinese authorities and the establishment of complex joint venture arrangements with state-owned Chinese power companies. The resulting contract for the Daya Bay nuclear power plant was more than a utility deal. It was a geopolitical masterstroke designed to bind the two regions together. The agreement was structurally ingenious. 70% of the power generated would be sent back to Hong Kong to feed the Kadoorie grid, while 30% remained to fuel Guangdong's modernization. This effectively created an electrical umbilical cord that made the two economies inseparable long before the political handover. However, the most strategic achievement was undoubtedly securing favorable regulatory arrangements that meticulously protected China Light & Power's existing monopolistic advantages, while simultaneously ensuring continued profitability under Chinese authority. The company successfully negotiated scheme of control agreements with Hong Kong authorities. These groundbreaking agreements guaranteed reasonable returns on investment while crucially maintaining the operational independence that would persist even after the 1997 handover. The Peninsula Hotels' strategic expansion into mainland China further demonstrated how the family masterfully leveraged their renowned hospitality expertise for significant business development under Chinese authority, all while rigorously upholding the international brand standards that attracted a prestigious global clientele. The Peninsula Beijing, which ceremoniously opened its doors in 1989, quickly became the family's flagship property for showcasing successful operation under Chinese sovereignty. The establishment of the Beijing property demanded extensive negotiations with Chinese authorities and intricate joint venture arrangements with Chinese partners. Nevertheless, the peninsula's unparalleled international reputation and consistently impeccable service standards enabled them to attract an elite clientele, including influential Chinese political leaders, international diplomats, and discerning business executives who sought luxury accommodations meeting the highest global benchmarks. The resounding success of the Peninsula Beijing provided invaluable credibility for subsequent expansion throughout China, unequivocally demonstrating the family's proven ability to operate successfully within evolving Chinese regulatory frameworks. Additional peninsula properties, strategically opened in Shanghai, Tokyo, and other key Asian cities, collectively established a robust regional network that deftly served both burgeoning Chinese development needs and sophisticated international business requirements. Real estate investment during the transition period profoundly reflected the family's unwavering confidence in the enduring value of Hong Kong property, simultaneously positioning them to benefit significantly from increased economic integration with mainland China. Rather than divesting their Hong Kong properties to mitigate perceived political risks, the Kadoorie family instead strategically acquired additional real estate throughout Hong Kong, developing ambitious projects designed to cater to both local residents and expanding international markets. The real estate strategy specifically emphasized properties that would benefit immensely from Hong Kong's enhanced role as China's international gateway, while providing essential services to mainland Chinese businesses and investors, requiring operational bases in Hong Kong. High-profile office developments in the Central District, for instance, successfully attracted major Chinese financial institutions, while luxury residential projects in premium areas catered to Chinese executives relocating to Hong Kong. The family's financial institutions adapted their banking and investment operations to serve Chinese development priorities while upholding international standards. They provided bespoke services to Chinese companies seeking international investment and assisted Hong Kong businesses expanding into the mainland. This dual capability, backed by expertise in complex regulations and international financial relationships, uniquely positioned the Kadoorie family to serve as indispensable intermediaries between the Chinese and international business communities. Cultural and philanthropic activities undertaken during the transition period underscored the family's deep commitment to Hong Kong's long-term prosperity, while also fostering crucial relationships with diverse community groups that would ultimately influence Hong Kong's development under Chinese sovereignty. The Kadoorie family's charitable foundation actively supported leading educational institutions, vibrant cultural organizations, and vital environmental conservation projects, unequivocally demonstrating their profound investment in Hong Kong's future well-being. These philanthropic endeavors provided invaluable opportunities for cultivating stronger relationships with Chinese leaders, simultaneously cementing the family's reputation as responsible corporate citizens who genuinely contributed to Hong Kong's social and cultural development, rather than merely extracting profits for external destinations. The 1997 handover itself proceeded remarkably smoothly for Kadoorie family operations, validating their prescient assessment that Chinese authority would, in fact, enhance, rather than threaten, their business opportunities. China Light and Power seamlessly continued operating under its existing robust regulatory frameworks, while strategically expanding its mainland operations. Peninsula Hotels meticulously maintained its renowned international service standards, while successfully attracting an increasing Chinese clientele. Post-handover expansion unequivocally demonstrated how effectively the family had positioned themselves to capitalize on Hong Kong's enhanced integration with mainland China, all while meticulously preserving the vital international connections that made Hong Kong so valuable to China's broader development objectives. Their business operations expanded significantly in both scope and profitability, expertly serving both Chinese economic development and sophisticated international business requirements. The transition experience established the Kadoorie family as one of the most successful and enduring examples of international business, adapting seamlessly to Chinese sovereignty, all while maintaining crucial operational independence and sustained growth. Their strategic success profoundly influenced the approaches of other multinational corporations to their Chinese operations, powerfully demonstrating that political transitions, when expertly navigated, could indeed create significant opportunities rather than merely present risks for well-positioned businesses. By 2000, Kadoorie family businesses generated impressive annual revenues exceeding HKD 20 billion, employing over 30,000 people across Asia. The triumphant navigation of Hong Kong's return to Chinese sovereignty had unequivocally validated their long-term strategic approach, positioning them for continued robust expansion throughout the 21st century. The China transition had once again proven that strategic infrastructure control, diligent relationship development, and shrewd political adaptation enabled business empires to thrive during periods of fundamental change, simultaneously creating new and expansive opportunities for growth and development. The Kadoorie family had definitively demonstrated their mastery of political transition management, meticulously building formidable foundations for continued success under any future political arrangements. The Kadoorie's survival during the transition was predicated on their mastery of political adaptation without compromising core business principles. They never took a partisan political stance. Instead, they proactively positioned themselves as invaluable partners in realizing China's development objectives. The lesson is clear. Focus on creating technical, economic, and social value that both sides of a political divide need, making yourself too useful to be penalized. This strategy laid the foundation for their continued dominance in the 21st century, where old strategies were applied to new frontiers, digital infrastructure, and environmental stewardship. Today, the Kadoorie family presides over an expansive business empire valued at more than $12 billion, wielding an influence over Hong Kong's economy that extends far beyond their formal business holdings. Their remarkable success, spanning over 140 years, stands as one of the most extraordinary examples of sustained wealth creation and astute political adaptation in the annals of modern business history. China Light and Power remains the undisputed crown jewel of Kadoorie operations, generating annual revenues exceeding an impressive HKD 50 billion while serving 2.5 million customers across Hong Kong and southern China. The company continues to maintain monopolistic control over Hong Kong's critical electrical infrastructure, concurrently expanding its operations throughout Asia in strategic partnerships with regional governments and international development agencies. The technical achievements of China Light and Power consistently set global benchmarks for utility efficiency, environmental protection, and unparalleled customer service excellence. The company's advanced generating facilities achieve thermal efficiency rates surpassing 90%, all while maintaining reliability records that remarkably exceed those of utilities in much wealthier nations. Their proactive carbon reduction programs have successfully eliminated millions of tons of greenhouse gas emissions, demonstrating a commitment to environmental stewardship without compromising economic competitiveness. However, the most remarkable achievement lies in its sustained profitability, which has provided consistent dividend returns to Kadoorie family shareholders for over a century. China Light and Power's operating margins consistently exceed 15%, generating robust cash flows that enable continuous infrastructure improvement and expansion without the necessity of external financing. Peninsula Hotels has evolved into the world's most prestigious luxury hotel brand, all while meticulously maintaining family control over strategic operations and ambitious expansion decisions. The company operates iconic properties in major cities worldwide, commanding premium pricing that consistently surpasses competitive alternatives. The Peninsula's legendary guest services continue to establish industry standards for luxury hospitality, cultivating a deep-seated customer loyalty that spans multiple generations of families and business organizations. Regular Peninsula guests typically remain devoted to the brand for decades, effectively providing invaluable word-of-mouth marketing that generates additional clientele without the need for conventional advertising expenditures. Recent Peninsula openings in London, Paris, Istanbul, and other significant international cities powerfully demonstrate the brand's global expansion, all while rigorously upholding the impeccable service standards that distinctly differentiate Peninsula properties from other luxury hotel operators. Each new property is strategically positioned to cater to the most influential political and business leaders in its respective market, thereby contributing significantly to the Peninsula's unrivaled reputation for excellence. The financial performance unequivocally demonstrates how effectively the Peninsula brand commands premium pricing while consistently maintaining occupancy rates that comfortably exceed industry averages. Peninsula properties typically achieve average daily rates that are 20–30% higher than competitive alternatives, while sustaining occupancy rates above an impressive 85%. Such exceptional performance metrics are underpinned by a relentless, almost obsessive pursuit of perfection at the executive level combined with a willingness to innovate. This standard is maintained through Sir Michael's obsessive attention to detail, from inspecting staff uniform stitching to the brightness of individual light bulbs. Furthermore, his commitment to thinking out of the box led to the installation of twin helipads on the hotel's roof, a decision that evolved into the creation of Metrojet, a private aviation fleet that now operates over 30 aircraft, seamlessly linking luxury hospitality with private air travel. Real estate operations continue to generate substantial returns through astute property development and sophisticated investment management, a process that leverages the family's detailed and intimate knowledge of Asian markets and evolving development patterns. Kadoorie Real Estate Holdings encompasses some of Hong Kong's most valuable properties, with an expanding presence throughout Asia and internationally. The real estate strategy emphasizes long-term value creation through a meticulous approach involving infrastructure development, strategic urban planning participation, and prescient property acquisition that capitalizes on broader economic development and population growth. Properties are typically held for decades, consistently generating reliable rental income and substantial capital appreciation that compounds significantly over time. Recent developments include cutting-edge mixed-use complexes that seamlessly combine residential, commercial, and office spaces into integrated projects. These serve diverse market segments while ingeniously maximizing land utilization and optimizing development returns. Such ambitious projects necessitate sophisticated financing structures and adept regulatory navigation, all while generating diversified and resilient revenue streams. The Kadoorie family has strategically diversified into venture capital and technology investments, recognizing that future economic landscapes will be shaped by innovation and will concurrently create new demands for advanced infrastructure and business services. Kadoorie's investment philosophy prioritizes early-stage ventures focused on developing groundbreaking technologies. These innovations are specifically sought for their potential to significantly improve infrastructure efficiency, promote environmental sustainability, and elevate customer service standards. Each investment decision is rooted in the understanding that technological breakthroughs can forge enduring competitive advantages and yield considerable returns for long-term investors. Recent portfolio additions include firms specializing in renewable energy, smart city solutions, and advanced hospitality automation systems. These ventures not only align seamlessly with Kadoorie's established business interests, but also strategically position the family within rapidly expanding technology sectors. This shrewd approach masterfully blends strategic business integration with robust financial returns, all while steadfastly maintaining the family's direct oversight of investment strategy. The Kadoorie family's philanthropic endeavors are consistently expanding, primarily channeled through their family foundations. These foundations actively support educational institutions, critical environmental conservation initiatives, and diverse cultural organizations across Asia. Beyond demonstrating a profound commitment to social responsibility, these initiatives also foster invaluable relationships that significantly bolster their business operations and elevate their standing within the community. Among their philanthropic achievements, the Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden stands out as their most prominent and visible contribution. It serves as a vital hub for environmental education and conservation services, simultaneously conducting crucial research that directly contributes to regional environmental protection efforts. Drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors each year, this esteemed facility has garnered international acclaim, solidifying the Kadoorie family's reputation as leaders in environmental stewardship. Their extensive educational support encompasses scholarships, facility enhancements, and substantial program funding for universities and secondary schools across both Hong Kong and mainland China. Such activities not only facilitate the development of strong relationships with academic leaders, but also significantly contribute to educational advancement, which, in turn, underpins regional economic development. The Kadoorie family consistently leverages its robust political relationships, which provide a distinct competitive advantage and underscore their remarkable ability to sustain influence across diverse governmental systems and through various political transitions. Indeed, the current Chinese leadership openly acknowledges the Kadoorie family as invaluable partners critical to Hong Kong's enduring prosperity. While international leaders highly regard their nuanced insights into Asian business conditions and burgeoning development opportunities, the family's approach to relationship management is distinctly nonpartisan. It prioritizes tangible contributions to economic development and social welfare, steering clear of overt political advocacy or governmental criticism. This judicious strategy allows the family to cultivate and sustain positive relationships with a wide array of political authorities, thereby enabling them to concentrate on strategic business development instead of engaging in political activities. Recent accomplishments highlight their sustained political influence and commitment to regional economic development, including advisory roles with key Chinese development agencies, active participation in international trade missions, and expert consultation on significant infrastructure projects. The financial performance across all Kadoorie business sectors is nothing short of exceptional, consistently generating returns that far surpass market benchmarks. This strong performance provides ample cash flow, fueling continuous expansion without any reliance on external financing. Typically, annual returns on the family's extensive investments consistently exceed 12 to 15%, simultaneously ensuring ample liquidity to seize new investment opportunities. The integrated operational structure of Kadoorie businesses yields significant synergistic advantages, elevating performance across all sectors. This integration also inherently reduces risks through strategic diversification and robust mutual support among their various holdings. Infrastructure operations reliably generate stable cash flows, which are then strategically channeled to fund expansion in potentially more volatile sectors. Concurrently, their extensive real estate holdings appreciate in value, driven by the broader economic development that infrastructure investments inherently foster. Over 140 years of astute wealth accumulation have firmly established the Kadoorie family among Asia's wealthiest business dynasties. Remarkably, they retain operational control over a vast portfolio of businesses that collectively employ over 40,000 individuals across the region. The family's considerable wealth is estimated to surpass $12 billion, a figure that continues to grow steadily through ongoing business expansion and strategic investment appreciation. Meticulous succession planning ensures the enduring family control over strategic operations for generations to come. This robust framework also meticulously maintains the critical management expertise and the intricate network of relationships that underpin their sustained competitive advantages. Members of the fourth and fifth generations are already deeply engaged in business operations, concurrently receiving comprehensive education and rigorous training specifically designed to prepare them for future leadership responsibilities. Their modern legacy exemplifies a remarkable capacity for successful adaptation, navigating evolving economic conditions, political transitions, and intense competitive pressures, all while preserving unwavering family unity and a clear strategic direction. This steadfastness has enabled continuous wealth creation and substantial social influence. The Kadoorie family has unequivocally demonstrated that business empires can not only endure across numerous generations, but also significantly contribute to both economic development and broader social welfare. Their unparalleled achievements offer a compelling template for family business development, one that skillfully integrates strategic infrastructure investment, astute relationship development, and agile political adaptation. Crucially, this model is underpinned by unwavering ethical standards and a profound commitment to social responsibility, elements that enhance, rather than compromise, long-term success. Consequently, the Kadoorie model continues to exert considerable influence on family business strategies not only across Asia, but also on an international scale. The Kadoorie family's strategic foray into digital infrastructure marks their most ambitious and transformative expansion since the establishment of China Light and Power over a century ago. Driven by the foresight that data transmission will become as fundamentally essential as electricity in the 21st century, the family has systematically invested in telecommunications networks, cutting-edge data centers, and advanced smart city technologies. These investments strategically position them to play a commanding role in Hong Kong's overarching digital transformation. China Light and Power's expansive fiber optic network now extends over 2,000 kilometers across Hong Kong, delivering high-speed internet connectivity to both residential and commercial customers. This sophisticated network efficiently leverages existing electrical infrastructure, simultaneously generating entirely new revenue streams that admirably complement their traditional power generation activities. This synergistic integration of electrical and digital infrastructure confers unique competitive advantages, virtually impossible for pure telecommunications companies to replicate. The smart grid technology deployed throughout Hong Kong stands as the world's most advanced electrical distribution system. It seamlessly combines traditional power delivery with real-time data analytics, automated load balancing, and sophisticated predictive maintenance capabilities. These groundbreaking innovations have drastically reduced power outages by over 90%, concurrently improving overall energy efficiency by an impressive 15 to 20%. Crucially, the smart grid continuously generates vast quantities of invaluable data pertaining to energy consumption patterns, economic activity, and urban development trends. This data provides the Kadoorie family with unprecedented, granular insights into Hong Kong's intricate economic conditions. Such intelligence translates into significant competitive advantages across all their diverse business interests, strategically positioning them to anticipate and swiftly capitalize on emerging economic trends long before other investors discern the opportunities. Data center operations have ascended to paramount importance, particularly as Hong Kong firmly establishes itself as the primary gateway for international companies seeking access to the vast Chinese markets. The Kadoorie family's state-of-the-art data centers furnish secure, highly reliable infrastructure specifically tailored for financial services firms, e-commerce platforms, and technology companies that necessitate Hong Kong-based operations due to regulatory mandates or commercial imperatives. These sophisticated facilities not only generate substantial rental income, but also foster intricate dependency relationships with international technology giants that require a presence in Hong Kong. Prominent cloud computing providers, leading social media platforms, and advanced financial trading systems extensively rely on Kadoorie's robust infrastructure for their critical Asian operations. This reliance cultivates customer relationships that deliver both consistent revenue and invaluable strategic intelligence. The strategic value of these operations transcends immediate profits, extending to considerable influence over Hong Kong's pivotal role within the global digital economy. By strategically controlling essential digital infrastructure, the Kadoorie family effectively helps shape which international companies can operate seamlessly and effectively in Hong Kong. Simultaneously, they solidify their indispensable position as key partners for any business requiring Hong Kong-based digital services. Environmental leadership has rapidly become a central pillar of the Kadoorie family's overarching strategy. This strategic shift is driven by the profound understanding that climate change presents both escalating regulatory pressures and burgeoning business opportunities poised to fundamentally reshape global energy markets. China Light and Power's proactive transition to renewable energy sources serves as a compelling case study, illustrating how infrastructure companies can effectively maintain profitability while simultaneously tackling pressing environmental challenges. The company's extensive solar energy installations throughout Hong Kong now collectively generate over 200 megawatts of clean electricity, complemented by significant offshore wind projects that provide additional renewable capacity, thereby reducing dependence on fossil fuel imports. While these investments necessitated substantial capital expenditures, they are projected to yield significant long-term cost advantages and markedly enhance the company's environmental reputation. More strategically, these renewable energy investments astute position China Light and Power to significantly benefit from nascent carbon trading systems and evolving environmental regulations, which will inevitably render clean energy increasingly valuable over time. The company's early and aggressive adoption of renewable technology confers a distinct competitive advantage, especially as environmental compliance transitions from a voluntary commitment to a mandatory requirement. The Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden has evolved into Hong Kong's premier environmental research institution, conducting influential scientific studies that directly shape regional environmental policy and unequivocally demonstrate the family's deep commitment to environmental stewardship. The facility's comprehensive research programs are strategically focused on biodiversity conservation, sustainable agriculture, and climate change adaptation, consistently delivering practical and impactful solutions for pressing environmental challenges. However, their most sophisticated achievement lies in seamlessly integrating environmental leadership with business profitability, forging competitive advantages rather than incurring additional costs. This commitment to environmental responsibility demonstrably enhances customer loyalty, attracts discerning environmentally conscious investors, and provides significant regulatory advantages that effectively reduce operational risks. The proactive carbon neutrality commitments spanning all Kadoorie business operations serve as a powerful testament to how large corporations can effectively address climate change while simultaneously sustaining profitability and robust growth. Fulfilling these commitments necessitates systematic, fundamental changes to energy consumption, transportation methods, and operational procedures. These changes not only dramatically reduce environmental impact, but frequently result in improved efficiency and significant cost reductions. Furthermore, the comprehensive environmental strategy incorporates substantial investments in cutting-edge environmental technology companies, which are at the forefront of developing innovative solutions for carbon reduction, enhanced energy efficiency, and sustainable development. These strategic investments yield both compelling financial returns and actively support technological innovations that benefit Kadoorie's own operations and contribute to broader environmental objectives. International recognition for their pioneering environmental leadership has significantly burnished the Kadoorie family's reputation, concurrently generating new business opportunities with governments and corporations that increasingly prioritize environmental responsibility. Accolades such as environmental awards and certifications offer distinct marketing advantages, powerfully demonstrating a steadfast commitment to sustainable development that resonates deeply with contemporary consumers and investors. The remarkable evolution of Kadoorie Financial Services into a leader in fintech vividly demonstrates how traditional family businesses can successfully embrace technological innovation without compromising their core competitive advantages. Advanced digital payment systems, robust blockchain technology, and sophisticated artificial intelligence are being seamlessly integrated into their existing financial operations. This integration is meticulously designed to significantly enhance customer service while concurrently driving down operational costs. Mobile payment platforms, meticulously developed through Kadoorie Financial Institutions, now cater to millions of Hong Kong consumers, processing billions of dollars in transactions each year. These platforms skillfully leverage the family's deep-rooted traditional banking relationships, offering convenient digital services that compete very effectively with leading international fintech companies. The implementation of blockchain technology has notably streamlined processes such as international trade, finance, property transactions, and supply chain management for businesses across Hong Kong and southern China. These innovations lead to reduced transaction costs while simultaneously enhancing security and transparency, benefiting both Kadoorie's operations and their valued customers. Artificial intelligence applications, strategically deployed in credit analysis, investment management, and customer service, empower Kadoorie Financial Institutions to deliver personalized services at scale. Crucially, this is achieved while steadfastly maintaining the relationship-focused approach that distinctly sets them apart from purely digital competitors. AI, in this context, enhances rather than replaces human relationship management, simultaneously improving operational efficiency and refining decision-making capabilities. The provision of cryptocurrency and digital asset management services strategically positions Kadoorie institutions to effectively serve sophisticated clients who require exposure to digital currencies, all while rigorously upholding regulatory compliance and stringent risk management standards. These specialized services demand sophisticated technical capabilities and expert regulatory navigation, yet they generate substantial fees from high-net-worth individuals and institutional clients. Venture capital investments in burgeoning fintech startups grant the family early access to groundbreaking financial innovations. Concurrently, these investments support technological development that ultimately benefits their broader business interests. Investment decisions are carefully weighed, emphasizing technologies that demonstrably enhance infrastructure efficiency, significantly improve customer service, or unlock entirely new business opportunities. This integrated approach to financial innovation ensures that technological adoption seamlessly enhances, rather than disrupts, existing customer relationships. It also expertly creates novel revenue streams that effectively complement their traditional banking services. Digital innovation is implemented with clear strategic intent, specifically to strengthen competitive advantages, rather than merely reacting to or following transient technological trends. Regulatory solutions, RegTech, developed and offered through Kadoorie Financial Institutions, assist businesses in navigating increasingly complex regulatory environments, ensuring stringent compliance with international standards. These services prove particularly invaluable for companies operating across multiple jurisdictions, which frequently encounter diverse and demanding regulatory requirements. International real estate investment has grown substantially in importance as the Kadoorie family strategically diversifies its property portfolio beyond Hong Kong. This global expansion effectively leverages their extensive development expertise in major cities across the world. Strategic acquisitions in key global financial centers such as London, New York, and Tokyo provide crucial geographic diversification while establishing robust platforms for further business expansion. London property investments include premium office developments situated in both the City of London and Canary Wharf, catering specifically to international financial institutions. These assets generate stable rental income, denominated in strong currencies. These properties capitalize on London's enduring status as a preeminent global financial center, simultaneously providing the family with direct exposure to European markets. New York real estate holdings are primarily concentrated on prime Manhattan commercial properties, serving the dynamic financial services and technology sectors. These assets benefit from appreciation driven by ongoing urban development and sustained economic growth. Beyond generating consistent rental income, these properties also foster valuable opportunities for relationship development with influential American business leaders and financial institutions. Investments in Tokyo are centered on sophisticated mixed-use developments, integrating residential, commercial, and hospitality components within cohesive complexes. These projects are meticulously designed to meet Japan's evolving urban requirements. Such ambitious projects necessitate expert navigation of complex Japanese regulatory environments, yet they offer unparalleled exposure to one of Asia's most sophisticated and dynamic property markets. European expansion encompasses developments in significant cities like Paris, Geneva, and others, catering to the international business community. This strategy further diversifies the portfolio across multiple currencies and economic systems. Each property is strategically positioned to capitalize on local economic growth while simultaneously serving a discerning international clientele that demands premium facilities. The development strategy places a strong emphasis on properties that stand to benefit significantly from infrastructure improvements, forward-thinking urban planning decisions, and broader economic development, all of which contribute to long-term value appreciation rather than merely focusing on immediate rental yields. Capital appreciation over the long term is unequivocally prioritized over short-term cash flow generation. Property management services have been expanded to offer comprehensive building management, superior tenant services, and meticulous facility maintenance. These enhancements demonstrably increase property values while simultaneously generating additional revenue streams. These integrated services create distinct competitive advantages while cultivating strong relationships with tenants, which are crucial in influencing future leasing decisions. Sustainable development practices are rigorously implemented across all new projects, while existing properties undergo upgrades to meet and exceed contemporary environmental standards. Achieving green building certifications not only enhances property values but also contributes to reduced operational costs and attracts a desirable cohort of environmentally conscious tenants. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, and specialized property funds enable the family to gain diversified access to international property markets, providing liquidity and professional management that strategically complements their direct property ownership. Healthcare investment marks the Kadoorie family's newest strategic business sector, a move driven by the clear recognition that advancements in medical technology and biotechnology will unlock unprecedented business opportunities while simultaneously addressing global health challenges impacting billions worldwide. Their medical facility development includes state-of-the-art hospitals and specialized treatment centers. These facilities not only cater to Hong Kong's burgeoning aging population, but also attract medical tourism from mainland China and across Asia. These cutting-edge facilities deliver superior healthcare services, generating substantial returns through the provision of premium medical care that is often unavailable in other regional locations. Biotechnology investments are strategically focused on companies developing innovative treatments for diseases predominantly affecting Asian populations. A key outcome of these investments is the creation of valuable intellectual property with global commercialization potential. Such investments provide strategic exposure to high-growth sectors while actively supporting medical research that directly contributes to improved regional health outcomes. Pharmaceutical research partnerships with leading universities and research institutions empower the family to support crucial drug development. Simultaneously, these collaborations provide early access to medical innovations, thereby generating new investment opportunities. These strategic partnerships offer both significant philanthropic impact and attractive commercial returns through successful drug development initiatives. Medical technology investments are focused on devices and systems designed to improve healthcare delivery. This is achieved through cost reductions facilitated by automation, artificial intelligence, and advanced telemedicine capabilities. These innovative technologies effectively address critical healthcare challenges while simultaneously creating robust business opportunities within rapidly expanding markets. Aging care facilities represent a significant and growing business opportunity, driven by Hong Kong's rapidly aging population and evolving family structures that are increasing the demand for professional elderly care services. These facilities provide essential social services, concurrently generating stable revenue streams in response to immutable demographic trends. Digital health platforms, developed through Kadoorie investments, offer comprehensive telemedicine, health monitoring, and medical record management services. These platforms enhance healthcare access while significantly reducing costs. Leveraging Hong Kong's advanced telecommunications infrastructure, these platforms effectively serve patients across the entirety of Asia. Preventive medicine and wellness services cater to the surging consumer demand for health optimization, thereby creating complementary business opportunities that extend beyond traditional medical treatment. Such services encompass nutrition counseling, personalized fitness programs, and advanced health monitoring, appealing strongly to affluent consumers throughout Asia. International healthcare partnerships facilitate the family's access to medical innovations developed worldwide. These collaborations also provide invaluable platforms for expanding their Asian healthcare businesses into global markets. Ultimately, these partnerships foster critical technology transfer while simultaneously creating compelling business development opportunities. The ongoing transition to fifth-generation family leadership stands as the most sophisticated and meticulously planned succession process in the Kadoorie family's extensive history. This process seamlessly incorporates contemporary management practices while rigorously preserving family control and strategic continuity, all crucial elements that ensure sustained competitive advantages. Comprehensive leadership development programs furnish family members with a holistic business education, invaluable international experience, and robust mentorship relationships. This rigorous preparation equips them for executive responsibilities across their diverse business sectors. These meticulously designed programs guarantee that the family leadership consistently upholds the unparalleled expertise and exceptional relationship skills that have long distinguished Kadoorie's operations. Sophisticated governance structures effectively delineate family ownership from professional management, yet steadfastly maintain family control over crucial strategic decisions and long-term planning. Board compositions carefully integrate independent directors who contribute invaluable expertise and oversight, while family members conscientiously retain voting control and ultimate strategic direction authority. Robust wealth preservation strategies are in place to ensure that family assets remain consolidated and productive. Simultaneously, these strategies provide individual family members with both financial security and independence. Educational investments in family member development are comprehensive, encompassing university education, specialized professional training, and enriching cultural experiences. These initiatives meticulously prepare younger generations for future leadership responsibilities while fostering unwavering family unity and shared values that underpin collaborative decision-making. The seamless integration of philanthropy ensures that the family's business success directly contributes to social welfare, while simultaneously building relationships and a reputation that significantly enhance their commercial operations. Charitable activities offer meaningful engagement for family members, creating a tangible and positive impact within the community. Cultural preservation efforts carefully maintain cherished family traditions and values, all while skillfully adapting to contemporary business environments and evolving social expectations. Through dedicated language instruction, cultural education, and a strong emphasis on historical awareness, the family ensures that its core identity remains robust and resonant across generational changes. Sophisticated conflict resolution mechanisms are in place to address potential disagreements concerning business strategy, asset allocation, and family governance. These mechanisms are vital for maintaining family unity and preventing disputes that could otherwise compromise crucial business operations.